Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the last game of round one in Super Rugby Pacific 2022. This game, the Brumbies taking on the Western Force. As you guys can hear, my voice doesn't sound too great at the moment. That is after a big day of live streaming yesterday. We did the cricket. Now we are doing this Super Rugby match as well. We also did 3 yesterday, and all of those results, there were a couple interesting ones that we did end up seeing, but these are the results of the weekend that we've seen so far. The postponed match between Moana Pacifica and the Blues. Unfortunately, that game ended up being postponed to a later date. Waratahs, they were able to get themselves a nice win over the Fiji and drew a 40 points to 10. The Chiefs versus Highlanders game played in Queenstown was a little bit closer, but only the 10 points difference between them. And also was a little bit of a trend for New Zealand sides as the Crusaders had themselves a 10-point winning margin over the Hurricanes. What was a very good game of rugby with those two sides going back and forth for a majority of that second half. The Reds versus the Rebels, it was a high-scoring first half, not so much for the second half. The rain was pouring. It was a tough one to watch as there were just handling error after handling error after handling error. But I wouldn't blame that so much as on the players. It was more on the conditions that were just making it extremely difficult. This is the way that the table sitting at the moment. The Waratahs, they are sitting at the top. The Reds and second, Crusaders and Chiefs both sitting on the 4 points also. And we have got Jason in the chat. We've got David the Mole. We've got Crazy and Zed. We've got Felipe here as well. And hope you're all well. We are indeed. And also, hey, David, just chilling, bro. How's things? And also, how's everyone doing? Who do you go for? Is Ed in this game? The Brumbies are the favourites, but the Western Force just have that ability to upset the opposition. There's a man just passing the ball into the crowd. I assume that was the coach who was there with them as well. Currently, the drawer sitting at the bottom, the Rebels, Highlanders, and Hurricanes making their way upwards as well. So one of these two sides for the Brumbies or the Western Force, they will be sitting fifth minimum after this game. And Grumpy's in there. Says Felipe there. And also, hey, brother, doing well. And now what's the score margin for this match? See there, I would say the Western Force's defense, I think, can definitely hold up in this game. But it's whether or not the Brumbies attack can really be kind of ignited by Noel Alessio at number 10. So I'm going to say Brumbies win it by 9 points. It's a weird number. It's not a very common number, I guess, to win a game by in rugby, but I'm going 9 points, and that would slot them in at number 5 on the table if that was how it sits right at the end of this one. Kiora says, Philippi, welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you're going fantastic. Hope you're excited for another game of Super Rugby, but this is the starting lineup for the Brumbies that they have decided to go with here. James Slipper, Falau Fainga'a, Alan Alatoa. They are going to be the three in the front row. Pretty stock standard for the Brumbies. A lot of experience there in James Slipper. He's got himself 100 Wallabies caps. Speaking of Wallabies, a few other players lurking around there. Darcy Swain, the number 4 jersey. Cadron Neville at 5. Then Rob Valentini. That man just doesn't take any days off. He's got great post-contact meters, and he is going to be at number 6 with Rory Scott as the number 7. Pete Samu off the back, who is very dangerous and probably right up there in the post-contact meters also, alongside Valentini. Nick White at 9 with number 10 being Noel Alessio and also 9KK. And also we have got there, what do you expect from this match? Will go down, or what do we expect from this match? Will go down fast/slow pace game. I think the Brumbies are going to try and push the pace early on because they've got the ability of being able to really just keep on going with the team that they've got. Like this back line here that we're on to now, Andy Muirhead, Ray Simoni, also Lena Cattell, Tom Wright, Tom Banks. Those guys got good gas tanks. The fullback having Pete Samu and also Rob Valentini. That's going to be 2 players to look out for. Really trying to push that pace and see whether or not they can wear down this less experienced Western Force side in Super Rugby. But it should be exciting. See what can happen. And I hope you're well, nice and rested. Mr. Rugby Gauntlett is on. Says Katie Dixon. I am indeed. I got a good sleep last night. My voice decided that it didn't want to wake up, though, I guess, at this current stage. But hopefully it will end up kicking in for the end of this one. Brumbies look stacked. Exactly right. Like that whole lineup. I don't even know how many Wallabies are in that side. I believe it's, James Slipper for just 1. And this is Wallaby starters as well. You probably count Darcy Swain almost there. So you're sitting at 3. Rob Valentini, Pete Samu, that moves you up to 5. Nick White is making it 6. Noel Alessio in and out of there. Tom Banks, Lena Cattell, probably about 10 Wallabies in there for this game. And what team do you think that is going to win? I'd say Brumbies by 9 here. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Western Force pull off an upset. We saw them as the only team in Super Rugby 2021 who were able to beat the Reds in Super Rugby AU. So they have got that upset. Although, when we look throughout their lineup, you will recognise the fact that there aren't as many of the players from that last year's side out there. Speaking of one in particular, Jordan Oluwafella, the man who got the hat trick in that game. He's not there, but they have replaced him with Manasa Mataele, the man from the Crusaders, who will be rearing to go for this matchup. Also, Pasitoa at number 10. He is actually coming from the Brumbies recently. Currently in the front row, Tom Robertson, Feliti Kaitu, and Santiago Meltrano, the only Argentine left standing at this point in time. Everyone else, such as the Thomas Cubelli, such as Domingo Miotti, they've all gone back to their original clubs, which I believe are in France for them, but that is why they are gone. Fergus Lee Warner and Isaac Rodder, a good signing to have here, and he will be at number 5 for this game. No Jeremy Thrush just for this matchup, but he will be returning in the near future, I believe. Reinhard Stander going to be at number 6. Kankateka at 7, workhorse for himself, and then Tamanti going to be as the number 8 option. Ian Pryor at 9, experienced man going up against Nick White. Should be an exciting battle. Who can get the better of that one? Rejan Pasitoa at number 10 needs to really make sure that he keeps his composure in this game, because as soon as you start panicking, that is when Lena Cattell, Erasimone will all be able to rush up and possibly cause a bit of disruption into that back line. And also we have got the Arcano 12 Wallabies in that starting lineup. It could be more or less. And then when does the game start? We have got 13 minutes till this game will be started, but we've still got plenty to talk about before we get into this matchup. And Manasa Mataele, like I mentioned, coming from the Crusaders, now there at the Western Force. It was actually rumored that maybe he would end up signing with Moana Pacifica or Fijian Drua, but he has gone to the Western Force. Bailey Kuenzel as the inside centre, Kyle Goldwyn on the outside, so no Richard Kahui in that starting lineup, and also Tony Pulu out on the wing, and Jake Strauchen going to be slotting in at fullback for that lineup. And also that's still a decent lineup for the Force here. They've still got some good players in there, which is why I am not underestimating them in this game. I feel like they're going to be right there and really going to be able to keep it going. My voice sounds terrible. I don't know what's happened. I was talking all right before, but I think it's because I'm trying to actually push out the voice now that it's decided that it doesn't want to work. If I talk softly, it probably works a lot better, but then talking softly and commentary doesn't really go together unless you're watching a game of golf or something along those lines. And what and how do you think the Force will go in the first half, says Ed Vogel. So I would say, and also I think you did say earlier on players to watch. So I'll say the Western Force, for me, this game for them will be either won or lost in the first half. And that's a weird statement, but the way I look at it is if they let the Brumbies get a good start in this match, they're going to be playing catch-up this whole game. And they can't afford to do that because the Brumbies, with the lineup they've got, with the amount of Wallabies and experience that they have got, as soon as you give them that lead, that's going to be just enough to not be able to catch them. They need to make sure that they are really keeping on top of it for this game, and we will have to wait and see whether or not they will be able to slow down that Brumbies momentum, because if they score an early try, and also how do you donate, says Felipe. I believe there is a little $ thing at the bottom of the chat. I think it's, I don't know what other buttons there are, but it is a little $, and that is pretty much how you do it. I believe. Who's someone who's done it? David the Mod. How do you donate? I've never actually done a donation to myself, so I have no idea how it works. As g'day all, and who's the best player, says Filippo. So for the Brumbies, I would say Rob Valentini, one to watch. And then for the Western Force, I would say Kyle Goldwyn in the midfield tonight, mate. It's 10 to 3 in the morning here, says Matthew. So that is very early. So I hope you are having a good enough night, and we will see you later on. And how much do you want, says Felipe? I mean, any donation is usually appreciated, but I don't expect you guys to donate. Like, even you guys donating your time, as cheesy as it sounds, is like all the donation that we really do need. And Brumbies, Lachlan Lonergan going to be off the bench. Scott Seo and Tom Ross as the replacement front row. Nick Frost and Ed Kennedy as the two other replacement options for that fullback. Ryan Lonergan, now that man has actually got a very long boot as well. Can strike him from 50 metres out if he needs to. Ollie Satsford, who did play for Hawke's Bay throughout the Bunnings NBC, was very good as well for them. And then Jesse Mogg going to be there as the 23. Andrew Reddy, Harry Lloyd, and Greg Holmes, the veteran, going to be at number 18. Ryan McCauley and Oliver Kalin going to be the two who are there for the loose forward. And lock replacement, Isaac Finnis, and then Jake McIntyre, Richard Kahui, very experienced player, will be coming off the bench in the later stages. And also we have got there called a super chat, hit the $ will you type as well, says it was Matthew there. And also, do you play games, says it Felipe there. Do I play games? Are we talking like games as in like on Xbox or something along those lines, or is it on something else, such as in real life perhaps? And also, Brumbies is the favourite to win this match. Do you think the Force will have what it takes to close the match says Ed, only if they have a good first half. I don't see them being able to catch up with the Brumbies. I see them, if they start well and they can stay in the lead and keep it within about 5 or so points, I can see them then being able to go on and get close to getting themselves the win. But if they don't do that and it does end up being a little bit of a runaway early on for the Brumbies, I don't see them really being able to catch up, unfortunately, on this game. But also, we have got the Xbox and PS4. So I do actually play a little bit on Xbox 360 and also Xbox One. They are the two consoles, and also PC. And I was like, yeah, the dollar sign, mate. And there it says that David the mod there. Currently, we will go like this, and we will go like this. Have you watched Super Rugby before, says Matthew? I have indeed. We have been, I think we actually did it on the channel. Was it last week? No, sorry. Oh, I know we did it this week, but we did some of last year's. Haven't you watched Super Rugby before? And there says Matthew there. But yeah, is that to me or someone else? Oh my God, did you say Richard Carvey? OMG, how old is he? He's about 30-something at least, but he's still going. And he just continues to keep making his way through. But the Western Force at the moment, if it's anything to go by what we saw last year from them, they've got that potential to be able to really push themselves on and see if they can get themselves a win. But currently my voice hopefully will last throughout the next little while for this one, but we will have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case. So I've got one more. We will go like this. We will go like that. Have you been to a rugby game? I haven't. Not like, when's the last one that I did go to? Probably when I was like 7 or something like that. And it was actually Otago taking on Canterbury, I think it was. So it wasn't even a Super Rugby game. It was just literally one of those random ones that were going on for the thingamabob. What am I trying to say? I've forgotten my words at the moment. I mean, I haven't watched Super Rugby before. I usually watch United Rugby Championship, says Matthew. So yeah, Super Rugby, I guess the best way to describe it is, how would you describe Super Rugby? I guess it's just like teams love to play it at a faster pace. Then we do sometimes see in the likes of the top 14. Gallagher Premiership's probably the best comparison to Super Rugby in terms of the speed that the game is played at, but the URC, it's actually pretty entertaining. They use more of the forwards in the URC, whereas we're probably looking at more of the backs here for Super Rugby as well. And it's about dive, it's about power, we stay. And I think that's about drive, is it? It's about power, we stay. And there it says Felipe, is that the Australian national anthem? No, it's not. No, it's not. But currently, we are just waiting for this game to get underway. Neil Wagner has said, welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you are doing well. Currently, we are sitting about 6 minutes away from the kickoff. I'm going to have another drink or else my voice will be gone before the start of this one. Right. Okay. They've just said that the Brumbies are actually on a 12-match winning streak against the Western Force. So who's going to score the first try? I would say first try for myself is going to be, I think it's going to be Lena Cattell. I think Lena Cattell can do this. Come on, we will go like that. We will go like that as well. There we go. We have set up that and we will go like this. Right. Oopsies, I just closed the coverage. That was not the right button. One moment, we'll go like this and we'll go. Anyone who doesn't actually know, if you do accidentally close something that you didn't want to close, you go Control-Shift-T and then it comes back. And there's a little tip for the day. And also, how are you watching the game? I am watching it on Sky Sport 3 here in New Zealand. And also Nigel Thornberry, Nick White will score the first try. And Amish bro, how are you? Says, I'm doing very well. Thank you, mate. Currently, we are sitting very close to this game getting underway. And it should be a very entertaining one. First try of the match, I'm going to say will be, I'm going to go Rob Valentini or Lena Cattell. I think those are my two men. And what countries are Super Rugby based? New Zealand. And there's Matthew. So we have got 5 New Zealand sides, 5 Australian sides, and a very recent inclusion this year is aside from the islands, which is Moana Pacifica, but they're based out of New Zealand just at current times, and Fiji and Drua, who are based out of Australia. And how many live stream will you do today for rugby matches? He's coding. This is actually our only live stream that we have got for the day, which is probably a good thing when you hear my voice in terms of how rough it does sound at the moment. But yeah, we have got just this one And then we are going to be having a whole heap more next week because we've got not just the Six Nations, but also Super Rugby, the Test match going on as well for New Zealand versus South Africa for the cricket side of it. And currently now the Western Force, they are wearing their away kit here in the black for this matchup up against the Brumbies. We will show the Western Force lineup once again for you guys so you can see exactly who is in there. Robinson Kaitu'u and also Santiago Medrano is going to be there at number 3. Fergus Lee Warner and Isaac Rodder, 2 very good locks to have up against not so experienced locks in Darcy Swain and Neville for the Brumbies. Stander, Koteka, and then also Anstey will be the number 8. Pryor, Pasatoa, Manasa Mataeli, Coenzel, then it will be Kyle Godwin, Tony Pulu, and Jake Strauchen as the rest of the starting lineup. Then we look through at the Brumbies, the home side, the team who are on a 12-match winning streak up against the Western Force. Slipper, Whaingaa, and also Alalatoa going to be there in the front row. Darcy Swain and Gadrian Neville, like I mentioned just a little bit earlier on, will be the 2 locks. Valentini, Rory Scott, and Pete Samu as the loose forward trio. Nick White as the halfback. Noel Alessio, big day for him, being in the number 10 jersey. Andy Muirhead, then also Irasamoni, Leonard Cadell, Tom Wright, and then Tom Banks as the last man in that starting lineup. These are the benches as well, and looks like the All Blacks and the Western Force have the same shirt sponsor. And there as well, yeah, it's looking very, like, that's the thing. Some of the away kits look very nice this year, I have noticed. I'm not sure, but if you know, but I'm the real Neil Wagner, and there says Neil Wagner. Although, would the real Neil Wagner say I'm the real Neil Wagner? I mean, if it is the case, you bowl him very well at the moment. Like batting 49, unfortunately, just short of the half century, but you'll get him next time in the next matchup. I should say. It's Samu for the first try. So it says it was there from Ed. Yeah, Pete Samu, maybe back of the scrum, might be looking at. That's a Brumbies flag, and it's actually yellow. It looks quite nice. I think I do enjoy the yellow colour. Those hats are cool. I think I want a Brumbies cap. I might end up ordering one online, perhaps. And also, welcome, real Neil Wagner. And there as well. Wait, is the Brumbies away kit yellow this year? I'm not too sure what it looks like in Fun Love. And they are also forced by 5, says Hamish Spencer for the prediction. And this one, but these are the 2 benches. Richard Garvey, the most experienced for the Western Force, alongside Greg Holmes. It's also had plenty. And then probably, I'd say Scott CO, probably right up there as well. Western Force dresses also All Blacks. They are also wearing some black dress. Is it copyright issue or not? Nah, they are allowed to. It is their away kit. So pretty much you are allowed overlapping colours. It's just probably, I guess, the logos and whatnot. You don't want a Fun Love as well. And also Harrisbro Ford 1 Day Cup matches also progress at the same time in Auckland. I did see that Martin Guptill recently losing his wicket there. The 2 sides making their way out onto the field. Now the Western Force and the Brumbies, my goodness, Richard Carey's 36. I remember him playing with Jono Gibbs there. Geez, that's an old name, isn't it? He just keeps on going though, Richard Carey. And I believe that this season probably won't even be his last. He'll just keep on going. I've bought some Western Force shorts, pretty good quality and design. There says Hamish Spencer. Was that the home or the away kit colour? So was it the black or the kind of bluish? Like they've got a very nice blue. But currently now, just the 1 more minute till we get into this match. Western Force versus the Brumbies, the last match of the weekend. Anyone wondering what it is going to be like for next weekend for the fixtures that we have got coming up? These are the ones that are coming for the next 7 days. Chiefs versus Moana Pacifica. Waratahs taking on the Reds. They are both the Friday night games, and hopefully Moana Pacifica will be able to put together a team for that. The Brumbies taking on Fiji and Drua. Highlanders Crusaders should be a good old derby for the South Island Rebels. Western Force as the final game. Blues versus Hurricanes will be slotting in on Sunday. And HB boys. And then, yes, I will get them next time, says Neil Wagner there. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get yourself a few of those. Saying that, Matt Henry was really not giving you much of a chance to get the wickets. That one, he just kept on getting them. And then Tim Southey's second innings goes bang, 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 bang. Gets the 5. Thoughts on Isaac Rodder performance since back in Super Rugby, says Ed Vogel. I think he's been all right, Isaac Rodder, overall. I think this season's really going to be his test because of the fact that you've got the young guys such as a Darcy Swain, someone along those lines, really starting to push their way in to the picture for the Wallabies. So you don't really want to let them take over. So Darcy Swain, he will want that jersey. Isaac Rodder also wanting that same jersey, so they'll both be fighting for it. And the Super Rugby season training shorts are black with yellow logo and blue and yellow stripes down the side. Says Amy Spencer, sounds all right. I might have to get myself So those and come on Blues, says Rugby Itch. Welcome into the Livestream I. Hopefully Blues up against the Hurricanes can take place next week. But yeah, it seemed weird not having the Blues in the first round. And also, I was just joking. I wanted to see how you would react as well, says Neil Wagner. I knew you were just joking. We've had, that's the thing. We've had quite a few people do something similar. Like we had Bowden Barrett in the chat, but it was Bowden Barrett while the All Blacks were doing the haka. So it didn't quite link up. But yeah, Neil Wagner, is your name actually Neil Wagner? Or is it just kind of a similarity? And that one, do let me know. Because if that is the case, you share a name. Very good cricketer. And Western Australia colours are traditional. Yellow and black are the Force away kits. Are closer to Western Australia colours than their home kit. And then do you like anime, says Felipe? I haven't actually watched too much of it overall. And also, I also bought a new Waratahs training shirt in there. And hey, howdy, brother, how you doing? And can I buy and ship All Blacks and Black Kits merchandise online from Official Spark Sport to India? I think you would be able to find it somewhere. You just want to make sure that you are getting the legitimate one and not someone's kind of rip-off make of it. Because I've got an All Blacks kit that I bought. It was a kind of fake one, but I bought it just for fun. It was like $10. And also, Hamish is the anime. And there's this Cody saying, no, I just named it for a random account. And there says Neil Wagner there. And I was like, wow, says Felipe. And also the Waratahs kit is pretty good. And Irish Pro wanted this time another one-sided game. Says Michelle, exactly right. Hopefully we can get ourselves a game that is only split by less than 10 points. Anything more than that is probably going to be relatively one-sided. But one thing I'm going to do already is say thank you for no rain. It's sunny. The game last night with the Rebels and the Reds, that second half was so hard to watch because it just kept on pouring down and everyone just kept on dropping the ball. Now this game, dropping the ball in this one, you're probably more the player to blame than the weather. And I'm a Worcester fan. Now I got a Harlequins jersey for Christmas. Tell you what, I'm not even going to tell you guys the results of the Premiership, but those games, wow, those results. And currently Isaac Rodder, they're showing him in the away kit for the Western Force, looking very nice. This stage, they will be kicking off from right to left, and it will be Pasatoa. Because another way, we lost power for about 90 minutes today. Says Novmum, was that due to some sort of crash or something like that, Novmum, or was it just a random outage? Noel Alessio kicking that one for touch, and he has been able to find touchline very nicely right on the halfway line. Isaac Rodder played for the Reds until 2020, but then decided to release him. They decided to release him. He signed then with the French club. What club was he at? I'm trying to think of the club that he did go to. Because there was a problem with him and Brad Form, wasn't there? Which is why he has actually signed with the Western Force here. I believe he's the player that had the problem with Brad, wasn't it? And now going back Pasatoa, now out to Manasa Mataeli. Getting his first carry since making his way to the Western Force. Good attack and run there, but James Slipper able to drag him down, and that is one thing the Brumbies bring is that physicality, but the Western Force, they're elusive in the way that they are able to go around. Has that man stayed on his feet? No, he has lost the footing. Ian Pryor now goes back, and Steve, it's the carry for Pryor, goes back, Pasatoa now, good ball into the hands of Isaac Rodder, making a few meters. Samu drags him down. Pasatoa, good inside ball from Kyle Godwin. I believe that would have been to Jake Strauchen, number 15 for this game. I'm back once again, Pasatoa. The rush defense from the Brumbies, putting them under pressure. It sits up. Leonard Cattell trying to go, but wasn't quite able to find that offload to Andy Muirhead, and it's going back for the knock-on. And Reds versus Rebel game was ugly to watch. But Tupou was a beast. He was indeed. And I think someone, or a lot of people's favourite moment was when he scored the try, got yellow-carded, and then had to sit on that tiny seat on the sideline. And thoughts on the first 10 minutes of the game. And this is Ed Vogel. I think it is going to be fast-paced between these two sides, and then whoever ends up getting the better of the first 10 minutes will probably have the better of the next 20 or so. Currently, the Western Force starting well. And Rodder and Isaac Lucas left the Reds because of the salary cap issue to save money. As I says, Amos Smith, and I was just random think it might have been weather-related. And then, did anyone watch that Quins Wasp game? I haven't seen it yet, but I am looking forward to watching it at some stage if they ever have it here in New Zealand. And your rugby live streams, most people are from New Zealand, also some European countries as well. Says coding, pretty much it is New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and the UK that we do normally have for the rugby. Oh, that doesn't look too good. I think that might have been Kane Kateka. Took a little bit of a bump there, and I couldn't come up with an account name, so I thought it would sound cool if I named mine after a cricketer, says Neil Wagner. It's fair enough. He's got a very cool name as well. But yeah, I assume, did you watch the Black Caps play up against South Africa? And if so, let me know what you thought of the match. It was a lot more one-sided than I thought it would be. And yes, right, I went for Leon, and also Isaac Lucas and Harry Hocken were signed with Japanese clubs. It's gone down, and it's going to be the scrum reset now in favour of the Western Force. And also we have got the Amish Pro nice t-shirt. You're looking handsome today. You're looking handsome, but this t-shirt more impact. Are you so good looking? Says Michelle. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. I'll be honest, I just chose a random shirt and I was like, this one will do. That's pretty much how I decide what to wear most days. I don't really put much thought into it. I just go, right, I'll open my drawer. Yep, that's one. And that will do. I sometimes wear that weird, or not the weird one, I wouldn't call it weird per se, but that big, bright palm tree shirt's gone down in the front row. Nick White can't believe it. And now it's going to be the penalty. Nick White saying that the knee went down in the front row, but the Western Force have got the penalty. Are they playing? Says Felipe, they are indeed. And also, is that what you said, David, there? And also Harry Hawkins and Isaac Lucas will end up being Japanese players. And yeah, they will end up. I mean, there's a thing. Japan have got some good players scattered throughout their side. Alan Alatoa somehow is already bleeding from his ear. He's only been out on the field for 3 minutes, and he still is going to be out there. A bit of a story there, and also Kenny Shaw's JK. There's his Felipe over the top there, and it is going to be Quinzel making his way for the Western Force, looking good in the early stages. Tim Anstey only going to be 2 meters out. The Brumbies, though, stopping them. Some good defense, attack and run for Liti Kaitu. Short ball, and it doesn't quite work out. Isaac Rodder knocks it on. And now the scrum feed will be for the Brumbies, only a couple meters out from their own line here. A good time to get out. Your voice is not looking good. Your throat is in bad condition. Take care after this live stream, says Coding. Yeah, I think it's just from so much talking. Yes, I was watching your stream on day 3 with Donna. I had to change my account name from Jack Dean to Neil Wagner. I got kicked by PK Sport. And there's, are you undercover on his channel as well as Neil Wagner now? Do let me know. But I know that if you got kicked on his channel, Jack Dean will still work on this one. You won't get kicked from that one as well. And also Japan like stealing our players, and so does other European countries, says Amish Spencer there. Currently now a big scrum. Going in, good push from the Brumbies, keeping down. It's the penalty, and that is exactly what they would have been after there. Big push from the big forward pack that they have got here. I just realized I was about to make a statement, and I was like, the kind of posts, the padding around them looked like a milk carton. And then I read on the side, Canberra milk. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense now. And I was like, that palm tree shirt is an abomination issue. You must never wear it again, says David. I'll wear it next week, eh? We'll see how it goes. I wore it for like one of the recording sessions, didn't I? For last week. Is it on Sky? Says Felipe. It is in the Sky Sport 3 this week. And Big R likes to kick out people. I respect it there. And also, like a thief in the night, the ruggers were stolen. And then there says Katie Dixon. Alatoa still has blood coming out the ear. Yeah, the cauliflower has been slightly pierced. Going in, stolen there by the Western Force. And that is something that Brumbies, because they have got those slightly younger guys who are jumping in, Swain and Neville, there is a chance that they could have a few line-outs stolen against them. Good defense there from Rob Valentini. Pryor now going out. There's a Santiago Medrano, the Argentine international. Once again, Quinzel goes to Kyle Godwin, taking his kneecaps out now. Pryor back. Santiago Medrano, good hit on the midsection there. And Alatoa goes back. Pasatoa, first receiver. Manasa Matali facing backwards. Forward pass. And now the Brumbies once again. And also to this day, no one can catch the rugby bandit. And then send him to the blood bin. And I'm watching it, says Felipe. So hopefully you are enjoying it. Currently 6.5 minutes through this one. And they're good enough to represent the Brave Blossoms, but not enough to the Wallabies jersey, or for the Wallabies jersey, sad but true. Anyway, good for them. Says Ed, yeah, I guess that's the thing. If they do have the opportunity elsewhere and you have got the roots of whether or not it's like your grandparents or your parents or something, if there is a chance to play international rugby, like I think 9 times out of 10 they'll go for it, because I know the likes of a James Lowe, Jameson Gibson Park, like it's still mentioned about the fact that they left New Zealand. Taniela Tupou playing for the Wallabies rather than maybe someone along the line. Oh no, it's not quite the same, in fact. for that one. But like a lot of players who do play for other teams, Duan van der Merwe playing for Scotland rather than South Africa. Pierre Schoeman playing for Scotland rather than South Africa. There's probably about 3 other players I could say who are playing for Scotland rather than South Africa. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, if you've got that opportunity, you take it. And Isaac Lucas has the potential. And there says Hamish Spencer, Faleti Kaitu, a young up-and-coming hooker here in the rugby. Oh, I said the rugby championship. For Super Rugby. And also F. Santa is Felipe. Someone didn't get the gift that he wanted this year. But at the moment, we're at the Greg and Larkin stand in the background. It's at GIO Stadium or GIO Stadium. Is it GIO or GIO? Do you say it as one word or 3 letters? Do let me know if you know. Now, Nick White going to be feeding in that ball once again at the back of the scrum for the Brumbies. And also we have got there, maybe I should kidnap Mackenzie Hansen. And then can you say the FF? And then there says, and it was Felipe FF. Is that what you want me to say? But that's going to be the penalty of the Western Force. And also Hansen, one word. And then there it says, Spencer, and also make him play for other countries against his will. And there it says Katie Dixon. Yeah, but tell you what, imagine. Well, that's the thing. I always wonder this. If you were to take an absolute superstar of a player, well done, Tom Wright. And he has been able to stop that ball from going into touch. Now put a massive spiral punt downfield. And now rather than being 5 meters out for the penalty and the line out, it would have been just outside of the 22. And what's for lunch, says Ed Vogel. I ended up having, what did I end up having for my lunch? I think I just had a little bit of a smoothie type thing. Nothing too special on Tom Wright with the AFL skills in there. So, yeah, I wonder if the Barrett brothers all of a sudden decided that they were from, where would we say? From Madagascar. Would their team be like that much better, or would it be still the case of not really being able to do too well? But currently now the Brumbies, I believe they were able to do nicely in that rolling maul defence. They have got that ball back. I've been blocking for Ireland or from Ireland for 3 years and bring them back to Australia. Says Hamish Spencer there. Oh, so are you replacing Callaway or Marika Kurumbetti out on the wing? Who would you give him up for? I guess 11 probably suits him quite nicely, Mackenzie Hansen, at the moment, although Marika Kurumbetti might not be too happy about that one. The Brumbies get it straight in that one. Also, we have got their wins. Easter for New Zealand. I think it's in early April, but I could have that wrong. I think, or kind of mid-April maybe. Ball's going on once again for the Brumbies. They've got another advantage at scrum time. That has been somewhere where they've been very strong. Drop ball from Ere Simone. Went to school and was in the first 15 side alongside, it was actually Jack Goodhue, believe it or not, and Kurumbetti. He's in Japan now. Says it was Hamish Spencer, although he will be able to come back from Japan, won't he, to be able to play for the Wallabies, or is he going to be living over there full time and no longer in the Wallabies kit? Do let me know. Currently now, Tom Banks getting down there mid-April. As Tom Wright was an average NRL player, and now he's Brumbies asset, one of the Wallabies prospects as well. Everything sort of work out for him, says Ed Bogle. It's quite interesting how certain things, was that straight? It was debatable, but they're still going to be continuing. Rob Valentini, post-contact meters is something he dominates in. But yeah, like as some players who do switch their craft does work out so well for them. Ball on the inside. Tom Wright now with the step. Dragged down by Pryor on the 22. I mean, someone who comes to mind straight away is probably Sonny Bill Williams, just because he did go league and also union. Hamish Bond, I think he's another one who went from rowing to cycling and has just kept on perfecting his craft. Now he raised some money with the seller, the dummy, ends up dropping the ball though. And now Jake Strawkin has this one on the halfway line, or in fact the 22. And Hamish, bro, I'll catch you later. We will see you later on. And also Good Friday is 15th of April. And then I thought it was full time. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it was full time. Maybe I'm wrong. Says Hamish Spencer. Because who else is in Japan at the moment who's going to live in Japan? Does that mean in 3 years he can actually play for Japan? Is that how it works now with the new selection status? Oh, you're there, you can. Also, I've got there. Can you shout out my brother, please? Shout out Felipe's brother. Hope you are doing well. But currently now it is going to be the line-out throw for Faleti Kaitu. 11 minutes into this game. There's a little bit of a crowd. Everyone's got their bright I don't know what that word means though, Felipe, because I know if it's anything like you wanted me to say a different one earlier on, and I know that that was a swear word. So I don't know whether or not that is also a swear word. And if it was, then I would get myself into some trouble. But now it's going to be Tony Pulu up to the halfway line. Good run forward. And then Muirhead rolls out of that one. Now Fergus Lee Warner getting the carry. My brother named as well. And I mean, Tom Wright played NRL for the Manly Sea Eagles, and now he's starting for the Brumbies. I think the 5-year rule was just recently started for eligibility. So yeah, theoretically, Marika Korombete shouldn't still be going when that rule comes into effect, would he? Unless, of course, he plays till he's a lot older. Now that one's gone into touch. Andy Muirhead decides that he doesn't want to take that one quickly. And also we've got the high from LA there. And a lot from Felipe. Welcome into Livestream LA. I hope you're doing well, mate. Currently 0-0 between these two sides after the 12 minutes. But the good news is it is still sunny there at GIO Stadium. So if it wasn't, I would be very well and also stop playing child games. There's never the mod. And currently Falau fighting throws it in, stolen once again by the Western Force, and it's just that experience factor that they've got, and Korombete will retire soon. Says Aaron Spencer, yeah, I don't think he's got too many more years in him, which is why Japan's such a good option for some of these older players. And yeah, better than Mr. Bean, says Felipe. For one, I do talk, which probably helps for a commentary channel. Although I can do a Mr. Bean impersonation, but probably not when my voice sounds like this. Now it is going to be 30 out prior, going wide, out now to Stunder. I have a little bit of a step. Manasa Mataeli having to join that breakdown almost. Another advantage. I believe it's a little bit too soon up there. Tony Pulu now around the side, making his way towards the line. Now, this will be a kickable 3 if they don't get over the line here. Pasatoa now on the outside. Tom Robertson, first carry for him. And this matchup prior with a quickly recyclable Pasatoa sells the dummy, goes off now to Kane Koteka, straight on the ball for the Brumbies, and they will be going back for the penalty as well. And also we have got there Marika will play for another Rugby World Cup, and I reckon after the World Cup he retires. His name is Spencer. That's the thing. When we think about it, we've got a lot of players in the near future who are actually going to be retiring as well. I try drinking water, it might work. And there I've already finished half my glass so far today, and it just seems like it's going to be not great. I did talk for about 11 hours on live stream yesterday, and then on top of that, it was probably about 10 hours, and then the day before that, we did end up doing another 10 hours worth. There we go. Hopefully, it does last for the rest of it. But Pasatoa there, I believe if he is back there, does that mean that they're not taking on the 3 points? No, they are. But it will be Jake Strauchen instead. We'll be lining up this kick. In fact, it's going to be Ian Prime. My apologies there. Currently now the Force. I mean, that's the thing. They probably aren't minding the fact that they have to take on this. Hey, little brother, I know you're excited to be here, but Amish can't comment on the game if he's answering your demands as how's the game so far. And this is Ed Vogel. We are currently sitting at a stalemate, but Pryor will be adding the first points in the match for the Western Force. By the looks of it, yeah, it's been quite a stalemate though. Like neither side really dominating it. It's gone straight over. That was an awkward looking kick there from Ian Pryor, but the Western Force take the lead in the early stages. I think you guys are being going like crazy. 21 subscribing, 15 or more. Brandon says Brandon, so congratulations there, mate. And hopefully it does continue going well for you. But 3-0 at the moment here for the Western Force. And also a pro show game there from Amish Spencer at the moment. I mean, that's the thing. I believe I don't think we've got too many competitions that have as many highlights available as Super Rugby around the world. As I only can't cover right reasons as Amish Spencer, he does know that one, but yeah. So we do get quite a few of those ones, and I think that was the one that he was mimicking of like random people just coming and going, show the game, and then I go, sorry, I can't, and then they're like, F you, and then they just leave. So charge down there, which now means the Western Force will have this one just inside of their own 22. Darcy Swain currently line-out time. Can they get a one back possibly for a line-out turnover? Currently, 3 have been stolen by the Western Force. 3 of the 4 attempts, and also everybody look in there. There's Aaron Spencer's going up once again, taken nicely by the Western Force. They were actually practicing that rolling maul in the kind of match, so they'll be open to kick this one high with Ian Pryor, getting some good distance on it as well. Okay, nicely. Going back for the penalty, though. And I believe that is going to be the penalty now to the Brumbies for Santiago Matarano being too big or too far ahead. I paid my money too much as well. And also, why did you put me on Lattes? But why did you put me in timeout? And there, who's Lata? Oh, is that Felipe? I haven't moved my hand, so I assume someone else ended up possibly timing. Yeah, it may have been because you were trying to get me to say swear words. Perhaps someone did end up getting rid of you, but penalties conceded at the moment. Going to be 3 against the Western Force and 4 against the Brumbies. Now the Brumbies kicking it for the corner. And also we have there no in there, and also sock puppet account detected. And then from Katie Dixon. Currently now it will be Falau Whainga once again, 10 metres out now. And this is going to be a good opportunity to try and get this rolling more. And also it was me, so says that also because you're spamming for shout out, sort of brother, just chill. Says that Katie Dixon there. Trying to roll this one forward. It's actually going backwards here for the Brumbies. Whainga has gone down in the front row now. Nick White going to be passing this ball back across. Who's the first receiver? Simone. Let's just take the big contact. Lena Cattell lurking around the side. He hasn't actually had a run yet, but normally when he does have a run, he is certainly effective now. It's going on Alessio back to Tom Banks, taking a high kind of carry from himself. Normally you try and duck down a little bit, but he just decided to go back down, as I told you about. There's Nick White now goes back to Darcy's way and offloads to Alan Alatoa. Now a quick ball. Nicely recycled. Simone going back. Now on the outside. Down to Tom Wright. And he scores the try, the opening try of the match. He just threw the ball at the Western Force player, I think. She's not too happy about. Individually, it says David the ball there. As also we will go like this, and we will go like this as well. But the Brumbies, they have scored the first try of the match. We will go like that. And it was Tom Wright, the man who we were praising a little bit earlier on in the 17th minute, has been able to get over the line. And he has scored the opening. Oh, no, I just pressed the wrong button and it all disappeared. Brumbies try scorer. It was nicely done by Niall Alessio. Ball on the outside. Brumbies try scorers. We go like this, and we will go with Wright. And we say 17 minutes. We go like this, and this time we don't click the wrong button. There we go. We've got it down the bottom now. Across the screen. Also, where can I see the match? Says Diego. What country are you in? Diego, do let me know. And he's probably like 10 lol. And this is Katie Dixon and Tom Wright go Brumbies. And that's the first proper good try in the Australia game. Hopefully that'll produce more of those in the round 2. That was a weird ding. I don't think my phone normally makes noises. That threw me off big time. And also I make Plants vs Zombies. They are getting 1,300 views in there. Currently the Brumbies are celebrating big time. Big love, big love. And how's everyone doing? Says Sebastian, doing very well, mate. My voice, not so much. It's currently a little bit rough, but hopefully it does end up kind of sticking around for the rest of this live stream. It's our last live stream of the day. And then also, I believe the next live stream we will have is probably almost Friday. Oh, they're going upstairs for a GMO decision. This might not be the try of Tom Wright. Okay. Potential obstruction in Canberra, my favourite city. Says Amy Spencer there. And also and there, and also we've got there, hey, howdy, hey, brother, how about these Quins? And then also, brother, Katie Dixon and David the Mod says Brandon there as well. So the GMO, we are just waiting to see whether or not it's going up. Says, let's go from a Felipe. Potential obstruction. The screen's not working. Okay, he's just trying to find the pictures, I think they are saying for that one. And hey, little brother, I hope you're well. And there's Katie Dixon, right, the TMO, where is the obstruction that they're speaking of? Oh, it's whether or not it was Pete Samu. Okay, now the big thing here is Pete Samu, because he was in front of the man. I don't know about Tom Wright throwing the ball at that guy afterwards. Gives him a pat on the back, though. And Nick White was right up in his face. He's not going to do a whole heap. But Pete Samu, because he ends up in front. Okay, he initiates the contact, pushes away. It's going to be the try. That's nothing come on. And then also, how about them lovely Quins indeed? And also, I didn't watch the Leicester-Bath game yet. But Bath almost got him. And then he wasn't taken out. And also, I hope you're well, David. Says Sebastian there. So because of it now, it is going to be 5 points to the Brumbies, 3. And try time, says Russell, on that one as well. But now Tom Wright scoring the first try of the season for the Brumbies. Many more to come, I think, for him. And also the man out on the other wing we haven't really seen too much of. Yeah, Andy Muirhead. And also, yes, common sense. Says Aaron Spencer, yeah, I feel like it's one of those ones that, like, TMO at times can be very bad, but that one probably, like, the way that they described it, and the commentators even praised them for it as well, kind of describing it in a clear way so that there's no, like, kind of middle ground. It's black and white rather than having a little bit of in between. Yeah, pretty much beat Samu. He ended up going forward, and I believe it was about in line with Bailey Quenzel, which is why it is going to be all right, because if he had gone a little bit further in front, normally if you are offside when you make contact with a player, straight away they do end up reversing it. That's a brilliant kickoff there from the Brumbies, from the Western Force. He's trying to get up, and he's not too happy with Andy Muirhead. Oh, he's now pushing with Folau Painga, gets his head, pushes him back as well. And also I've got there. Okay, so he's talking to himself now by the looks of it. Chat, but currently 20 minutes through this one. The Brumbies sitting on 7 points, the Western Force sitting on 3, and Bath was in front at half-time. Says Aaron Spencer. See, that's the thing. Bath are improving, and I know it's taken till the Six Nations players are gone for them to be improving, but like at the end of the day, they are slowly getting there. For this one, but now going back once again to Tim Anstey. Only holding there outside of the 22. Isaac Rodder dragged down there by, I believe it would have been Hadrian Neville bouncing behind. It's going to be down for Pasatoa. Tom Banks has to jump on that one. It's a little knock on, though, they have said. Tom Banks going to the net, go backwards. And referee says, no, mate, little bit of a knock on. Currently, they have plenty of pressure being put on by the Western Force here up against the Brumbies. And also, little brother, this is probably why plays Benji. And there it says it was there from Katie. Possibly. But Tom Banks now. Who's that? Isaac Rodder's actually staying down for a little bit. He's getting back up, though. He should be all right to continue this match. He's a tough man, and he is one who is wanting that position in the locking department for the Wallabies. Their first game, the Rugby Championship, has actually been announced. I believe we play them in the Bledisloe Cup a couple of times, and then also, and I will get the schedule up, let you guys know where those games are going to be taking place and when they are. I don't think they have announced the exact times, though, but they have announced the days that they are going to be happening. And currently now 21 minutes through. International rugby coming back next week as well with the Six Nations. It's the other one that we are watching. Also, the Cricket World Cup is actually not too far away. I believe it's 11 days away from that Cricket World Cup returning, which is going to be pretty awesome in that one. Once again, scrum reset. We've had quite a few of those so far throughout this one. So July, South Africa play Wales a few times. Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa is actually the opening round of the Rugby Championship. And that is going to be in 169 days on the 7th of August. I would say that's probably the Sunday morning that we are going to get to see that one. And New Zealand actually play Australia last in the Rugby Championship, but the date is to be confirmed this current point in time, but to be determined for all of the times of those ones. You guys not really knowing what's going to be happening in terms of where we can travel as well. And do you want to see what video do you want me to make? I know my shorts and show and maybe some giveaway. And there says Brandon, although I do know that they do recommend like trying to avoid giveaways for a start due to the fact that you'll gain the subscribers for the giveaway, but then they will unsubscribe when they don't win. So you want to make sure that you do. Nick White, he's got that ball. He's actually got in the breakdown. He's just been ripped up to his feet. I don't know whether or not he wants to try and fight with Anstey. The crowd are loving it at the moment. I don't know whereabouts either of those two individuals went. They're still pushing and shoving off the field. Around the side now for the Western Force. They are going to be only a metre short of the line now. This could be their opportunity. They've got the advantage as well. Rob Bellatini going to have to defend, getting closer and closer. Turned over by Pete Samu. I think it's going to be close to held up. But they're going back for the penalty. And Wallabies this year, Nick White. And there sees Aaron Spencer. Yeah, he decided to try and take on Tim Anstey, who pretty much just picked him up and threw him. And Nick White, he ended up getting his hands on the ball, popped up on his side. And then who was it? I think it was Tim Anstey just literally picks up Nick White and gets rid of him. Grabs him by the shirt. Him and Isaac Rodder. They ended up disappearing, those two. They well and truly went out to the side. But Nick White, fair play to him for trying to take on a bigger man out on the field. But currently we're at GIO Stadium in Canberra. 4 lineouts the Western Force have been able to steal in this match so far. I mentioned about that experience factor of Isaac Rodder. He's been able to grab that one nicely now. The set play, Anstey has spun out. Is he going to be held up? I think he is held up. I don't believe he got that one down, but I believe they will also go upstairs. He's asking for the touch judge to say, has he got that one rotated enough? I think it took a little bit too long, though. Harry Spencer got the laughing face. No clear grounding. My first initial reaction was held up. And I believe he might have eventually got it down, but it was probably after a good few seconds of trying to rotate. So more than likely, if it's held up, there will be a goal line dropout in favour of the Brumbies. Tom Wright, Pete Samu, both stopping him from putting it down. That ball then disappears. That, for me, is still held up. Okay, that's still up, I believe. Where is the ball? Okay, so that's going to be on-field no try, so I believe they need clear, conclusive evidence that it's going to be overruled. And it's not going to be overruled there. So it is going to be now the goal line dropout. Yeah, so they don't have the advantage. And now goal line dropout there for the Brumbies. So relieving a little bit of pressure that the Western Force twice in a row have almost been able to cross their chalk line. Those clouds look like they're not really going to be rain clouds, which is great to see because we did see that game last night, the Reds versus Rebels. Second half was one of the toughest second halves of a rugby game I think I have watched. It just didn't want to happen for them, unfortunately. It just kept on having handling errors. But this game, it's a beautiful day. Now 60 metres out with that drop kick. Very nicely done in coffee in there. There's Brandon there with a couple donuts, but currently now on the halfway line, straightening Fergus Lee Warner. Couple extra metres. Oh, stolen though on the breakdown by Tom Ross. Did he drop that ball? Nick White certainly knocked it on. I've got the knock-on advantage now. Bailey Coenzel trying to go through. The Western Force have had the ball a majority of this match. Oh, Nick White, did he play the halfback there? No, he did end up missing the ball. And once again, he's in a bit of push and shove. Oh, he's just been spiked on his head. I don't know how that's gone for him, but currently there's still a little bit of push and shove going on. So I think they will go upstairs and check that one after we do get a stoppage and play. But Mataele forced backwards a need in there. There's Russell there. Currently now Ian Pride. There's a lot of players who think they're referees out there. I've heard so many calls for penalties and all sorts, but the referees at this stage just trying to kind of keep a hold on this game. So they're starting to get a little bit out of hand by the looks of it with the off-the-ball stuff. Every once in a while, good counter ruck there from Rob Valentini. Almost able to break through. Doesn't quite get it, though. Still there for the Force. Pryor now up to 8 phases here for them. Going back, Pasatoa, inside ball. Fergus Lee Warner once again. He's got himself another carry. That was a rough pass. Now bounces up for Nick White. They're going back for the original penalty, though. Right. How much of the off-the-ball stuff are they going to be checking for this one? Oh. So Nick White, they keep fighting. So the thing is, he ended up connecting with Pryor's head originally. Okay. So currently the referee has literally said the players are talking more than they're playing, like sort it out. Because, like, literally throughout the whole thing, through the rest microphone, you could hear, oh, ref, that's a penalty. Ref, what about that one? What about this? Rather than just playing a game of rugby. His ear is absolutely mashed up. Looks like a cauliflower, which is why it's called cauliflower. Yeah, need more tries for Tonga. And there says Russell, yeah, every try scored $500 donated for Tonga relief, which is a very awesome cause to have there as well. But now Darcy Swain, he's quite tall, isn't he? He's been struggling at line-out time, though. Isaac Rodder's kind of had his number alongside the other Western Force man and Fergus Lee Warner. It's very good with the line-out turnover. Currently now Pryor, he will be lining up this one from 28 metres out, 32 metres out. Probability of 73%. Here's a question who talks back to the ref more than Rory Cockett as well. And there says Katie, I mean, it's a tricky one. That one's gone over. I know some people say Johnny Sexton does quite a bit of back chat, but I think as the captain, you get some sort of leeway, but it's still like you're not allowed to just go out there and just get angry at them too much, because then normally it just doesn't really work for you. Like if you get angry at the ref, he's not going to go, oh yes, and now that guy's been angry at me, I might give him a couple more penalties. Nice run there from Kyle Godwin. I go up the middle of the field, currently still available for the Western Force, and it looks like Pryor will either be box kicking or putting it back in the pocket. He box kicks himself. Does fine touch with that one. And Kiwi lads, have you got that YouTube play button yet? Says Neil Wagner. I do not. You need 100,000 subscribers there. So we are still a little way off, I guess you could say, but we're almost a 10th of the way there, which is pretty awesome. And trick question, the answer is no one. And there says Katie Dixon. The position at the moment, 77% for the Western Force. The Brumbies just haven't been able to hang on to the ball for very long at all. The Western Force, though, that's because of all the line-out steals they've had. And that's going to be another one. That is 5 times now that the line-out has struggled. And Kane Kateka be creeping forward towards the 40 metres out from the Brumbies, going short side. Lee Warner now back to Pasatoa. Kyle Godwin with a nice step on the inside, dragged down, though, by Caedron Neville. So again, it'll be a good aggressive run. Fergus Lee Warner has made a lot of meters. We've had a lot of great players in the number 4 jersey this week, I have noticed, or even just in the locks in general. Tom Robertson now creeping forward. Like, he's had a very good game. In the first game that we did see between the Drua and also the Waratahs, it was their number 4. For the Waratahs, I believe, who had a very impressive fixture. Brody Retallick, we're talking 5s. He was good in the locking jersey. Feliti Kaitu, I think, is a little bit injured at the moment here. Taking the quick tap there. He wasn't on the mark, though, for Tom Wright. Now he kicks the ball away. And they have brought back Max Kotoa as well. Welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. At the moment, it looks like Feliti Kaitu, I should say. They actually had 2 players in that one trying to get it. Tom Banks and also Tom Wright. All the Toms were on the same page for that little moment. Who else we got? Have we got any other Toms? Tom Robinson was he in the breakdown? If he was, that would be quite funny. They've also got someone off the bench called Tom, don't they? One of these 2 teams. No, they don't. Just the 3 Toms out there at the moment. For leading Clyde to the moment. 21 caps, 4 tries for himself. Not a huge amount off the rolling maul, but it's a good opportunity to really try and get the Western Force in a dominant position at halftime, because if they can hang on to 70% of the ball in the second half, I would like to think that they would also have a good chance of being able to go on and possibly get towards the win. Why the duck? Would you kick it? It's your penalty. Says yeah. Although I guess it was because of the fact that they knew they had to stop anyway for Kaitu. So I guess he just wanted to practice the grubber, practice a bit of distance. It sounds like there's too many Toms. As Al says, Simon, yeah, anytime you get more than a couple Toms, it's normally very confusing. I think that's actually one of the only double-up names we got, which is good. We've got a lot of short names. Andy, Kane, Tony's, Jake, Ian, all those names. Tom as well. He's got a few of them. They're on the field. Kanaraka's good there, but the Brumbies now have got this ball back. We haven't actually seen Len Ikitau so far with the ball in hand. So as soon as he gets it, hopefully he does end up scoring himself a try. He's a capable player, Len Ikitau. You've got to use it because you've used your hands as the call for Nick White. He does put the ball high now. And now the sun's starting to disappear at GIO Stadium. It's hit back by Andy Muirhead. Instead, Kyle Godwin has got that one back for his side. Manasa Mataeli trying to go through, dragged down low by Michael. Or sorry, it was actually Alan Alantau. The ball's gone through their hands. Now Len Ikitau, he almost did it. Did they go backwards? Yes, it did. And now Pasatoa with a couple steps. Slipper is able to make the tackle. Are they 40 metres out from their line? There's another player down for the Western Force. At the moment, Pryor was tackled relatively late from Darcy Swain there. Alan Alatoa steals that one from the back. Oh. Hey, there's a Richard Kahui. What's he doing out on the field? Someone must have gone off in that back line. It looks like Jake Strauchen at the moment got a bit of a bleeding nose. And also very physical game, says Aaron Spencer. Exactly right. There's been quite a bit of that physicality, not just in the breakdown, not just in the tackles, but also off the ball. We've seen a little bit of passion being shown between the two sides. And Alan Alatoa offside at the ruck is the call. He did try and grab it at the back. And I'll say 7 A's. And there's his mark. It's how many we've got in the starting lineups. Oh, is that for Alan Alatoa for his name? That was a quiz question I asked for for Alan Alatoa and Michael Alatoa combined with how many A's there were involved in that. And also we've got the Hey Hamish, how's your day going today? It's been going very well. Other than my voice. My voice is starting to disappear a little bit more, but hopefully in the later stages of this match, it does stick around, because or else then I will sound like I'm pretty much talking in, I guess, what's a good way of describing it? Sound like I'm in a library trying to whisper, but also trying to yell at the same time. Like there's a fire in the library. That would be, it'd be like, yeah, oi, get out. It's my impersonation of someone who's in a library. Okay, he's still playing experience, says Russell. Yeah, exactly right. He has been around for a very long time. Spent a majority of his time at the Chiefs for his Super Rugby tenure, but now, Tony Pulu went down there. I'm not too sure what happened to him. Oh, but Jake Strauchen, I think it might have been the elbow of Muirhead or something along those lines. Hey, Hamish, bro, this is it now. This game, pretty interesting now. Good gameplay today, both teams. And then our RDA, Abajis, how you do? And there it says, Katie, currently now going forward once again. It's a good rolling maul here for the Western Force, making about 15 metres in quick succession without any chance of slowing it down. Now Alan Alatoa trying to get onto that ball. Pryor goes back to Kahui, flat pass. Valentini sent him backwards. Who was that who just got nailed? I think that would have been Kyle Godwin, I want to say it was, but he didn't look like Kyle Godwin. No, it was actually the big number 8, Tim Anstey. Got driven over backwards. There's another injury at the moment, and this time it's Santiago Medrano for the Western Force. Strauchen now doesn't quite find the link up with Tony Pulu on the outside. Moving up to the 22 now, though, for the Western Force. The clouds are starting to cover the ground. Hopefully there's no rain, or else we will see a lot more drop balls. Rob Valentini getting straight on it, and he wins the penalty for the Brumbies. As I'm going good. How are you? And also Canberra Wallabies versus Western Force. And there says, yeah, they've got a huge amount of players from the Wallabies, that is for sure. Like, looking through it, that starting line, Slippers, a Wallaby, Falau Whaingaa, Wallaby, Alan Alatoa, Wallaby, Darcy Swain, Wallaby, Rob Valentini, Pete Samu, Noah Lolesio, Nick White, Leonard Cadell, Tom Banks, Tom Wright, all played for the Wallabies in the most recent season. Whereas, if you look through the lineup of the Western Force, Isaac Rodder, That's it, really. Other than, I guess, Felici Kaitu, I think, was in at one point for injury cover. Other than that, though, not really a huge number of players in there. More people going down than, no. I mean, there's a few going down at the moment in the game. Of course, I think we've had about 4 injuries so far, and, just chilling in there. Says Katie Dixon. That one has gone into touch. It's a good kick downfield. And also Tom Robertson also. Was he in the in the props? Did he get a chance? Did he play any games in the end, or was he just in the squad? Hamish Spencer, do let me know. I'm trying to think of if I saw him, because I know that they lost Taniela Tupou. They lost, who else did they lose? That's a nice ball there to Nick White. Out now. And it's going to be passed straight into the hands of the Western Force. They do blow the opportunity once again there for the Brumbies. And the Western Force have just said a lot. I was wondering, what is your email? And there says Carlos, in the chat, but now Ian Pryor going to be putting this ball up, not quite able to charge it down. Goes into touch. Pressure still well and truly on for both these sides. Falau Whaingaa just went to the straight pass out to Nick White, went to 5 metres. I think he played a game, says Hamish Spencer. Because I remember they lost a lot of props, didn't they? They lost Alan Alatoa. They also lost Taniela Tupou. And then they also had another one of their props that was injured. So that's why Greg Holmes got the call up. Hey, if we're looking at the bench, here's there for them. So you can say they've got another Wallaby, but Nick White now with an attacking run. Noah Lolesio, quick hands. Out now to Tom Banks. Ball on the outside, almost linking up. Just not quite able to do so, though. Nick White now going back across here once again. Will be into the hands of Falau Whaingaa. And also, what do you want my email, little buddy? And there's Katie Dixon. On low there on Alan Alatoa. Good tackle from Kane Kateka In fact, it was Thunder. Now Nolalicio trying to go straight through. Does end up dropping the ball, though. And it's a knock-on. Once again, Tony Pula there asking the touch judge for the knock-on. Straight away apologizes because he realized he was being a bit of a knob. But now, currently 36 minutes into this one. And Nolalicio once again just putting that ball down. We literally have not seen Lena Cattell throughout this whole first half. We've seen a little bit of Erasimone. But Lena Cattell, I hope they don't take him off for sets, but just because we haven't really seen him. And also, sorry, as I says Carlos there. Currently now, scrum feed once again. 1 point difference between these two sides. Could be the case going into halftime also. I just wanted your email. I asked you some questions. And there says Carlos there. Just getting some water here by the looks of it. Start getting water off. And Tom Robertson currently getting his head patched up a little bit more now. I think he's bleeding out that cauliflower ear that I did mention earlier on. And you need a can of V-Brother halftime energy boost. Says Russell, that's the thing. I don't know what's happened in terms of my energy levels. I was wide awake earlier on. I'm still wide awake. Ooh. Still wide awake, but I think it is as soon as I turn on this light, and also because it's quite warm at the moment. I think that's what's made me yawn a few times. Overall, I got a decent night's sleep last night, I thought. All right, did end up getting my editing done nice and early, and also are there questions you can't ask here in the chat? Says Katie Dixon there. But currently now going to be feeding this ball in once again now, or not. We're going to have another scrum reset. Okay, props are leaning in as the comment from the official in charge of this one, but currently penalties conceded is probably something that both of these sides will be looking at as something they can improve in the second half. Handling errors, we've had a few of them, of course, but nothing too crazy compared to the second half of the Reds versus Rebels game. But currently, anyone who was wondering about how the table was sitting, the Waratahs at the end of round one have got the potential of sitting right at the top. One moment we will go like this, and we will go like that as well. There we go. It's a good push there from the Brumbies. The ball bounces out the back. They win the penalty. And more than likely, will they decide that they want to go for the 3 points and give themselves a 4-point buffer? Or do you go for the corner, try and really kind of cement yourself as a side who are right at the top? Because at the end of the day, 2 more tries for them. And if they can keep the Western Force from scoring, they will actually end up winning themselves a bonus point alongside it. So maybe that wouldn't be a terrible idea to go for in this matchup. More than likely, they'll probably just go Noah Lalicio at the post, and that looks like that is what they are going to be doing. Going to give themselves a little bit more of a lead here. Nice one. Apparently we will go like this, though, and we will go like that. I think the commentators are a little bit surprised that they have decided that they want to go for the shot at goal. Just with the way that they do normally attack, they are a very aggressive side when they have got a team on the back foot, but they haven't really had much of the possession. And AM's up for a bit, almost 4 a.m. here. Brumbies playing good, says Kanakoin, and they're going all right when they've got the ball. They've actually only had less than 30% of the ball in this matchup so far. So they've gone all right for what they've had of the ball. And Waratah's only time they'll be top of the table is because they play Fiji and draw round one, says Russell. So yeah, they were very blessed with that one. I am Bot is back. And there says Betty Wagon, or it's I am Bot. Welcome in, Betty. Hope you're doing well, mate. Currently only 40 seconds left of this half. Waiting a little bit longer, Noah Lodesio. Give themselves a 4-point lead. He has got that one over. And now the score is going to be 10 points to the Brumbies, 7 to the Western Force. That was perfect timing. It actually updated right when he had kicked it for myself. I am Bot, says Betty. And I was like, what is your email, please? I need to email you the questions, says Carlos there. And currently now, 15 seconds left of this half. The Western Force, they will be kicking it off to the Brumbies. So more than likely, they'll go short here, try and retain it, or else the Brumbies probably will just kick this one off. Okay, I think someone's going off for a head assessment here. As I'm up for with the winky face, and also I am Botslow. There says David the Mob, but Greg Holmes, he is going out there now for Santiago Medrano. Almost ended up running into, I think that was Finnis, who he almost ended up colliding with. They've kicked this one off high. Taken nicely. Few seconds left of the first half. Andy Muirhead, he's knocked the ball on. Now jumping on it. Have we got enough time? It was a knock on. They've got one more scrum. A quick question: why is everyone so as imagine also we have got there. Oh my God, you're being pretty cryptic and pushy. So and there's this getting also it must be personal question like what's it needs your why you need your email. It's not this is not Tinder. There's also when it's magic hour. It says Kanako and so yeah, at the moment, do let me know. You are seeing next week and also Six Nations out of all the games we've got coming up. What is the next one that you are looking forward to the most? I know that Munster have got a game coming up soon, don't they? I'm actually going to have a look because I don't know who won out of Munster and their opponents from their last game. One moment. Am I going to be happy with it? Munster beat Edinburgh. That's a good win to have for Munster. You are a Munster. Yeah, you are a Munster man. I had a worrying factor there that it is going to be that I did say the wrong Irish team, but they've won the penalty there, the Western Force, and I believe this will give them the extra 3. And then your speech is so slid, you need to get some sleep. Says kind of going, and I think it's because I'm like, anytime I try and push out more than a word, when I hear my voice go, that was a weird way of describing it. But anytime I hear my voice start to go out, I try and combine my words so that I can get that sentence out before the voice disappears. So I think that is why I'm struggling. But as I also, he's just looking for something. There's Patty Wagon there, and yeah, this is Rugby Chat. This isn't a dating service. Says Katie Dixon there. Although my mum's YouTube channel, when she is bringing it out, she was going to get me and myself, and I, and George, a girlfriend, Hamish, and Andy. Says Russell, I should say there. And also Western Force with an awesome weekend of streams. Thank you very much, David. Usually appreciate it for your donation as well. And also what's going on, Hamish, is someone else there. Says Patty Wagon, no, not for myself at this stage. Nah, just all alone. Our parents are in the kitchen at this point in time. We'll end up having tea. That's the thing. Because this live stream is going to be finished in a decent hour, I will get to see my parents at a normal hour of the day for today as well. But currently now Ian Pryor lining up this one. 42 minutes through. Can he get it? He sure can. And now the score is going to be only the 1 point difference between the two sides. 9 points to the Western Force, 10 to the Brumbies. Someone pressed the wrong button by the looks of it. There we go. Now they found it. A beautiful kick, says Amy Spencer. And also it is indeed kind of looking forward to the England versus Wales game. And Amy should be a belter, says Sebastian. So yeah, that is going to be at 5:45, isn't it? Yeah, good win for Munster. Zebo got a gastric as well. And however, there were twit fans insulting his way, especially the scum Leinster fans. See, that's pretty rough. Like, yeah. People with dicks, aren't they? A hat trick. And they're also, we got a hat trick, not gastric. Okay. That makes more sense. I was thinking gastric, so maybe he was on some sort of like antibiotics or something like that, and that's why they were insulting his weight. But so he got a hat trick, not gastric. That's good to know. And also, you sure you went, as I was says, anyway, and yeah, nah, just me, myself, and me headset. I guess is the only other thing. Kieran's not even out yet. He's in my room. And also, what's the highlights of the first half? The end of it? No, I'm joking. It was a good first half between the two sides. I would say first, what's a highlight that we have got? I mean, Tom Wright's try was a nice one with the backline movement that they did end up having. But overall, we haven't actually seen a huge amount of attack from the Brumbies. And that girl, says Patty Wagon there. And that girl, which girl are we talking? My mum? And also we have got the ears all over social media. Says Kana going in. But like, I mean, like, why does it matter how much he weighs if he's scoring tries and like doing well? Like, I don't understand like people's logic sometimes. It's like if a player plays well and then they're like, right, what can we go and find that will make that player feel slightly worse about themselves after a good performance? Like that one's probably one of the worst ones that you can have in terms of like insulting someone's way. I'm sure that he would have just like kind of brushed it off, hopefully. I remember when the Waratahs, the Reds, and the Ag Brumbies were just full of rugby superstars, and I better stop before you dig a bigger hole for me, says Patty Wagon there. And also rate both teams' performance. I'll give the Brumbies a 6. No, I'll give the Brumbies a 4. Brutal, I know, but they have lost 5 lineouts of their own throw as well. So it is going to be a 4. They did get themselves the 1 try, though, so that helped them. I better stop. It says Betty Wagon. I also ask them, I don't care what he looks like as well. Says kind of coming in exactly right. Like, at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really matter, does it? Like, in terms of what they look like. Like, I thought when I started doing the YouTube channel, like, I was going to get so many things about, like, the gap in my front teeth. Yet we've only had one, and it was a disappointing one. And I'm a bit sad about it. I was like, this is for sure what people are going to go with. Like, they didn't. And I was confused. I remember I've been told to F off quite a few times by people who want to see the game. That's just stock standard. And Scotland beat England, then lose to Wales. The Six Nations is wide open. Says a Russell there, and also take care. Some time. You need break. You have break in halftime. No, that time talk. Just reply on chat box, says Michelle there. And if I was sitting in silence, it would be weird. I think for myself, I could try it, but it would feel pretty strange. And also, I saw on Instagram they are kicking Italy out of the Six Nations and adding South Africa. Is that true? It is not true. They have all come out, Six Nations, etc., and said, nah, people are just starting to do that and just make it up. And also that is false. So it's kind of gone on 23, and I still have one baby too loose. And there's this James Spencer and LMAO. I remember, what was it? I actually had a tooth that didn't come down originally because it was growing in the gum or something along those lines. But it actually came down the way that it was supposed to, which was kind of cool. And also we have the Katie. And also it's the tall poppy syndrome, knocking people down in America. It's the opposite. So says David the Mod. Yeah, see, it's weird. Like, people's mindsets, like, I still don't understand them, like, at times. Like, because, like, if someone's doing well, there's always at least one person who's like, I don't like the fact that you're having success. So, like, I want to make you feel worse about yourself, rather than just being like, good job, or like secretly, sometimes they're even happy for them, but they're like, right, I can't let them know I'm happy for them. So, like, I'll be like, oh, you suck, you know, like, as Super Box will not join the Six Nations. Also, basically, that was just the journalist didn't do his homework, says Simon Hughes, and that's happened many times, hasn't it? And has there been any tries? Only the one of Tom Wright. Other than that, though, no other tries we've seen. Once I saw where the story originated from, I loved it immediately. Some disgusting tabloid newspaper says Kanako in. But yeah, it's kind of that whole thing of the media see something and run with it, and they just keep on running. Basically, the Six Nations is owned by 7 entities in Italy, so one of them they would have to agree to be removed, and they're not likely to do that. Yeah, why would they kick their own side out of a competition that is going to keep their, I guess, international rugby alive? Who's going to score the next try? I'm going to say, I go Lee Nikitau. We haven't seen him in the first half, but I want to see him because for some reason I've got my spider senses are tingling, and it's not that spider that I smashed against the wall earlier on with a box, I should mention. It's just jealousy and envy, Hamish, all part of the human condition. And there says David the Mod, yeah, like, people are like built weird, aren't we? Like, when we think about it, like, we are weird. Like, animals, do they get jealous of people? Probably. Well, they probably get jealous of each other. Giraffes are like, geez, he's a bit tall. I'm going to go smack him with my neck just to try and make him feel worse. And it sounds, as wrong as it sounds, I feel bad, but that Italy get to keep their Six Nations spot. I truly believe that there are better European nations that could replace them, like Georgia. Do you think they would ever go with the 8 nations instead? Have Italy still there, and in Georgia, and then also and in South Africa? Would that be? I feel like they're more likely to do that rather than kick Italy out, just because Italy, like, their rugby would go downhill very quickly if they weren't in there. Because even, I mean, the URC teams are doing all right eventually. And also, what's your favorite ABBA song, Hamish? I can't think of too many of them overall, but I'd say, I mean, we used to have to sing Fernando at school, I think it was, if I'm not wrong, for assembly. So that's one of the only ones I can think of at the moment. And it's also just above the scoreboard. Oh, it's just above the scoreboard, says Betty Wagon. And that one. And also, Force managed to close the match in the first half. How about in the seconds, do you reckon they will have a lead? Says Ed. I did mention if the Brumbies weren't able to run away with it early, I felt that was the best chance that the Western Force could win this game. Currently, from what I've seen, the Western Force have looked like the better side. That's a crude analogy, Hamish, but I'll go with it. And there says David the Mod. Yeah, it was one that's smacking each other. Have you seen giraffes fight? They're brutal fellows. They just go bang. Please get it, says Betty Wagon. I can be hired as a spider assassinator. Because I squashed one the other day with a box because like it was on the live stream and it was a whitetail. So I was like, I can either let the spider like hang around and possibly bite me later, or I can smack it. And I smacked it big time. And I was like, all they know how to do is ask stupid questions, eat free food, and lie. And there's Katie Dixon there. And also these sports journalists are out here lying in there. And also not at the moment, mate. They couldn't even beat Italy. They tried. And also Amish Road drinks boiled water, not very hot, and some medium hot water. You drink a few times, your throat will clear. Voices and show game there. And all you know, or all they know how to do, I should say, enforce manage to close this match. I know I read that one too. I'm all over the place. I have their 2020 jersey right beside me on the Brumbies for Kana Coin. And do you think that will give them the little bit of luck that they need to be able to cross the line with a win here? We'll get some stats to do with this match though while we are at it, while we're at half time and while we are waiting for the second half to get back underway. One moment, Super Rugby. There we go. And also, MD Colours, I got an inkling. You like music by Abba? And this is David the Mold. I feel like you've nailed that one on the head there, David. Overall, one moment, we'll go back here. I don't think I actually posted out of these teams of who actually plays who next. But next week, I can show you the fixtures that we have got coming up in a very short moment. That is going to be these ones. So the next week, Western Force have got the Rebels, and then the Brumbies, they are taking on Fiji and Drua in a game that they will definitely want to be able to get themselves the win. Currently, we go like this. And we go like, one moment, this. And like that. Now, hopefully we get some stats coming up for this game. I believe, there we go, it is going to be popping up. So far, the possession has been heavily in favour of the Western Force, who have had a total of 68% possession in this game. So for them to not have any more points, I feel like it's one of those ones that they'll be a bit disappointed in the box. Lost to Japan, as why should they be in the Six Nations says. Who says that also? I think I should thank the Brumbies for giving us Matt Kent since he's going to go in and, or tell you what, they will fire up Irish Spence. I know that he's not too happy about him leaving Australia. And also, anyway, Irish, so there's some animals I prefer to some humans I know, says David the Mod. I think that's like, it's not too rare. Like, people are weird. Like, animals, like, they seem nice enough. Like, my cat seems like a nice enough fellow. Like, he doesn't speak any English. He doesn't really complain too much. He does make a bit of noise every once in a while, but that's because he just wants everyone to know where he is. And normally it's literally right there because he hasn't really moved too much. And what actually will happen with the Blues and Moana score point system in round one, I don't believe, because it's postponed and not cancelled, I don't think either of the teams get the points yet, and they will just try and get it at some stage in the middle. It was a libro. And there says Katie Dixon, and also we have got, by the way, I have a serious question, Hamish. This kind of going in. Okay, serious question sometimes will lead to a serious answer, but maybe not, depending on what it is. But give it a go. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer it seriously without answering it badly. Water. It's weird. We've only got another 40 minutes left of rugby live streams. And also, show me here, Matt Hansen, watch him lose to us in the Rugby World Cup final. I mean, Ireland would take it because they haven't made it through to the to the final in the World Cup. And why do you Kiwis score the 10 and 12, first 5/8 and second 5/8? I mean, it's a good question. I personally don't, because it seems like a lot of effort rather than, I mean, I call them first 5. So maybe that might be at one. Because the thing is, first 5/8, like, there's not 8 people in the back line. So, yeah, first 5 we normally call them, and second 5, I kind of shorten it, I guess. But then rather than, I guess you guys call it inside center, and then also fly half would be the other two. I'm going to get an Xbox X. So hopefully it does go all right for you. And also, I just need to upload a video. It'll be out in 11 minutes for anyone to watch. It says it, Neil Wagner. What is it about? Neil, is it about how to bowl bounces? Because if that is the case, you're very good at it. And they sound like awkward maths equations. So he's going to go in. Yeah, I shortened it to first 5, second 5. Just because that makes more sense. Because 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, hang on. There's 6 backs. First of the 5 in the line, not including the back, fullback. First 5, second in the 5, Third 5? No, they probably just call it outside centre. And now if a sports journalist asked that question, here's Katie Dixon there. And thoughts on the final score points. I think we will get to see a game with not many. I mean, I'd like to see a few more tries in the second half. Maybe we get up to around 40, 45, 50 points, somewhere around there. Possibly. And also instead, they'd be asking Bodenberra if he's ever been to jail. Yes. Says Katie Dixon. Yeah, gotta love journalists, eh? And no, it's just me doing exercises around the house. And then says Neil Wagner. Bowling exercise? No, probably not bowling exercises. Would you guys be interested in a video? I thought of it the other day when we were on the cricket live stream, and we actually kind of half by mentioned it. I have a question for you guys. Would you guys want to see my mum end up padding up, putting on some cricket pads, getting a cricket bat, and facing some spin deliveries from myself? Is that something you want to see? She's got a very good eye for cricket. Plays some very nice shots. She's actually got one shot that I cannot play. That really annoys me because I can't play it, but it's like the kind of dabble down to third man. Like anytime I try and do it, I just edge it straight to first slip. But she kind of just dabbles it. Nicely played. So yeah, if that's something you guys want to see, do let me know. And Hamish Bro, Auntie not coming in rugby game. Auntie didn't like rugby game. I'm just asking. You don't mind? No worries at all. She was, I think, tucking out after the cricket yesterday, but more than likely, I mean, rugby's not completely a sport that she would go for completely watching, I guess, and standing next to the pool right now during the break. And there, I mean, I probably need a bit of a tan. And yes, there's no mum there, and yes, there's Neil. And thank God we do it simple in the north. Scrum half, fly half, and inside centre, easy, and inside centre. So it's going to go in. And yeah, you guys make it basic for us. Like, I guess, what do we call out? I think we do go inside centre, outside centre. But I can't quite think of any other kind of weird terms. But the Western Force actually having over 100 extra running meters here in that first half. Defender's been in 6 to the 2. Oh, yeah, watch out. She don't show you up. She will. She will big time. My spin bowling, certainly not as good as her batting. Off spin or leg spin would be the big question. The Force actually only had to make 25 tackles in that first half, missing 2 of them. But the Brumbies making 105, and they did end up missing 6 of their tackles. Nick White will be getting us underway for the second half now. And we are going to be ready to go. Tony Pulu able to take it nicely there inside of his own 22. And we are back underway here. It's like French for instant 91. It is Quatre Vint Uz, which is 4 times 20 plus 11. Really sounds like you have to know your maths before learning how to count in French and Irish mum to score. This is now in first 5-8 as a New Zealand thing. Oh, so is it just a New Zealand thing for first 5? Do they have it in Australia as well? Lovely weather in Sydney. Says Amos Spencer there. Currently now for Liti Kaitu. There we go there off to the lounge room. And there says Amos Spencer. And off the bat, Kaitu's got that one currently 40 minutes through this game. Still another 40 to go for the last game of round 1 of Super Rugby Pacific. Did miss out on that game between Moana Pacifica and the Blues. But the good news is we have still got plenty more rugby coming up. Tony Pulu now down the wing. Kicks it in mind. Looking for the big kick. It's taken nicely by Tom Banks. Now looking for the counter run. Passes it in front of Tom Wright. Great hands. Taking it one-handed. And now trying to go for the counter attack. 40 metres out now from their own line, the Brumbies. They are going to continue. Try and creep their way forward. Nick White. Looks like he is going to be firing this one back into the pocket. Or does he? No, he goes himself there. Nick White, rather than going for a now little kick in behind, is going to be sitting up down on the wing. Leonard down, not quite able to get it. Going to be grubbing through. And now going back to Richard Kawi. Manasa Mateli. That's actually the first time I have seen him. And a long time, Manasa Mateli, though. Straight up the middle. Passes off to Richard Kawi. Looking to link up. Tony Pulu, no Manasa Mateli. Great low tech on him. Finds the offload to Pryor, who's dragged down. Offloading back to Pasatoa. They're getting close here, but the Brumbies, great scramble defense to be able to stop them from going over. Tom Robinson having to take a diving catch. Stop that one from going down. Not quite able to get that. Darcy Swain, no. Sorry, it was actually Isaac Rodder. Now Pryor going to the short side. It's going to be an important little phase in the game here for the Brumbies round the side. Pryor goes back. Lee Warner on back to a stunner dropping the head. 5 metres out now for the Western Force. Lee Warner, he's always going to run hard at the line. I remember that at French class at school. Is on there. Isaac Rodder spinning closer to the line now. Pryor goes back, firing at Richard Kawi. He's going to get up, offloads it out to Strauchan, one-on-one defense. Tony Pulu. Did he get it down? He did. That was a weird way of saying that, but Tony Pulu scores a try for the Western Force. And now because of it, they are back in the game. Tony Pulu scores it. Both number 14 have been able to get themselves a try into this game. And Tony Pulu does end up scoring it for the Western Force. But Manasa Mataeli going straight through the gap. Beautifully done. And then we will go here. Tony Pulu was Richard Kau, who's actually involved in a lot of that move for them. And that was in the 42nd minute. And already the Western Force have been able to get themselves the nice early try in the second half. Good try. And also the score change before you saw the tries. He's kind of going in. So I guess it is still a little bit ahead, perhaps. But yeah, hopefully I will be able to update it so that it does go a little bit later. Come on, Brumbies. There's Katie Dixon and also good try. And also there's, he did put also there's another team, or another term and team called the Standoff. Really using no idea how it relates. Standoff. So what, is the halfback stand on? Because he's on the ruck, I guess. Stand slightly less off. I can see why they don't use it too often. Standing far away, that's the winger. And Brian now sits straight down the middle, and the score now will be 16 points to 10. And also, Yo says, Reed Nichols, welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you're doing well at the moment. The Western Force with a 6-point lead here over the Brumbies. Can they get the job done? That's the big question. The Brumbies, they've got a stacked team, but they're under pressure here up against the Western Force, who have just absolutely starved them of the possession in this game. They've only had 30% of it. Nick White now going to be kicking this one off. And the sad thing is, if the Western Force lose this game, you'd say it's more that they probably were undeserving of losing it the way that they've been playing. Of course, there's still a whole half of rugby to go, but if it continues the way that it is, maybe they would be very disheartened if they weren't able to pull this one together. Scott CEO on the field now, and that is replacing James Slipper, taken nicely by Fergus Lee Warner. He's been everywhere in this game for the Western Force, making extra meters. WTF is a Brumbie. It is a type of horse, hence their kind of logo. So it's a big male horse, I believe, or something along those lines. Yeah, it doesn't make sense as a feral horse native to Oz. And yeah, okay, so it can be female or male. Just make sure that it's feral. And also, please show again that video, Hamish. I'll put it on the Discord. Says it, David the Mod. So I assume that is the one of Tony Pulu, the one of me just going, ooh. Penalty to the Brumbies now. And Saturday Chiefs versus Moana. Yes, does indeed. And any other games on tonight. Not for this, but we have got a couple other games for other competitions. We won't be covering them on the channel. But the URC, the Dragons taking on Ulster. That is at 3 a.m. New Zealand time. Gallagher Premiership. We have got Newcastle Falcons taking on the Exeter Chiefs. That is at 4 a.m. New Zealand time. And then the top 14, there is going to be Bordeaux versus Racing 92. That is at 9:05 p.m. And also, who the hell calls a horse a Brumbie? And then it's like a big honking horse. And all the Australia games have been tight, besides the Waratahs and Drua game. He's Hamish Spencer. Currently, Lachlan Lonergan looks like he's not too far away from making his way out there. But first, Falau Whainga'a is going to have this line out throw for the Brumbies. That one of you and the other boys. Says David the Mod. Oh, the one of us with the party popper, if I'm not wrong. Currently now taken nicely. Gone straight to Cater and Neville. Now for Laufainger at the back has got this ball. Scores a lot of rolling more tries. And this is marching forward nicely now for the Brumbies. He looks to the short side. He actually tripped over. Does he get it down? He sure does. And for Laufainger does end up going over and now scores the try. All right, this game's starting to heat up in the second half. Everyone's decided, you know what, we're sick of not scoring tries. Though, scoring in the 46th. We've already had more tries now in the second half than we did in the first. So this game is certainly speeding up. And also see, you can learn in this chat. This chat is like college as well. And also, do you have Brumbie ponies? And Aussie, because if you do, I want one. Says it was Sebastian. And also, anyway, just popping in to say hi after we finally won a gold medal at the Winter Olympics. Says BAL. Congratulations there. What sport or what repecharge? No, what event was it? It's an easier word, isn't it? And also, no, other one again, the boys. And also, watch the man from Snowy River. You'll see Brumbies there. And there, says David. And also, one of my mum's favourite movies is called The Silver Brumbie. In there. Right, okay. Me and Mum still have to watch Afterlife. That was another one that you guys were recommending. Did anyone see the score on the Stade Francais versus Biarritz game? And if you did, sorry for spoiling it, because I'm about to, but Stade Francais won 65 points to 19. I think Russell Crowe is in it as well, says Katie Dixon, but currently now the Brumbies with that one being able to get out there up to 15 points at the moment. They haven't actually updated their scoreboard. That one has gone over. And now the score is going to be 17 points to the Brumbies, 16 and women's curling. Anyway, we only managed silver in the men's curling. Says Bale, I actually quite enjoy curling. Curling's one of those ones that you don't really get the chance to do too often, but we did it for school, for like a school trip, and it's actually quite fun. Now you just slide along the ground. You don't quite get the slide that those players do at the international level, because they like slide for ages, the one who's throwing it, just to make sure they get the weight right. But for us, we would just pretty much whip it down there and then just broom the absolute balls off the top of the surface. And you want more history, folks? We don't mind history around here. Basketball on Sky Sport 1, says Jake. Is that the game with the Breakers playing? I think the Breakers were playing, weren't they? And currently now Strawn taking it nicely on the halfway line. Pryor, his kick was partially charged down, taken nicely now by Tom Wright, finds the offload to the other Tom Banks, and now continuing to march his way forward. And I actually just watched the man from Snowy River 2 weeks ago, and I'll say it, for those who don't know, and Russell Crowe, born in New Zealand, but proud to be an Aussie, says David the Mod. Now Noel Alessio goes out, Leonard Cadell gets the ball now, passing off Rory Scott, another player we haven't really seen anything of throughout this match. Maybe he's been doing a bit behind the scenes, but in the front of house, we haven't actually really seen anything major. Now, erase some money, loose ball. Strawn tries to jump on it, not quite able to now. Instead, holding up Andy Muirhead. Passes it back to Pete Samu, Rob Ballatini, the two big loose forwards. And now, just for good measure, the ball has been dropped there. And Lachlan Monaghan, he's out on the field for Falau Whainga. Ball through. Noel Alessio flicks it out the back to Darcy Swain now. Ball just not quite finding the hands of Scott Sear. A history of Dunedin. And then Super Rugby Pacific, or SFP, played like there was no tomorrow. I saw the highlights on the French channel. I've just realised who that is, Stade Francais, isn't it? They just decided to ruin the poor fellas. Was Nutty Lamape playing in that game? I'm going to have a look. Lineups, he was. Did he score a try? Surely, if they get 65, he scored a try. Seku Makalu, that is expected. Naivalu, Levu. Naivalu again, a penalty try. So at least Nutty Lamape scored one, because I think he's been struggling a little bit, and also the name comes from Dun Eden, Scottish Gaelic for Scotland's capital, Edinburgh. Tell you what, there you go. If you hadn't learned anything today as of yet, now you have. Unless you already knew it, then you did already know that. So we'll have to find a different stat. I mean, my stat that I keep on going to is the Eiffel Tower is bigger in summer than it is in winter because the metal expands. Well, that's about as good as my stats go. What's the climate like in America? After Michaela Stritton failed to win a single medal in any of the skiing events. And also, I was born in Dunedin, Florida. And there says Katie, and also come for the rugby state for the history lessons. That'll be an interesting process, us learning history. I mean, I could show you guys my flag knowledge, which is pretty impressive. All right, I watched a single moment of the Olympics. And there says Katie Dixon. Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't either. Other than seeing like highlights of who's like winning the medals and whatnot and who's doing well. Like I haven't actually ended up doing any full match watch-alongs type thing, or even just watching them for myself. And also we've got fun with flags. Says Captain James Sheldon Cooper, he would be proud of me. That's why is that because you suck at it. And there's his BAL. Jeez, that's rough, isn't it? And also, hence why we have the Highlanders, because of the strong Scottish influence on the South Island. That's going to be the free kick now. Finnis taking it quickly. Getting a high from Pasatoa. The other players being told to slow down. Tom Banks, a rear mistake from him under the high ball. And other Dunedin. And there's Katie Dixon there. Currently only 1 point difference between the British and New Zealand had a Dunedin before the USA had a Dunedin. And there's Katie Dixon. And also even New Zealand is better than USA in it. For, I believe that's the Winter Olympics, more than likely. I guess it's one of those ones, it depends on where the budgeting or kind of where the money goes for the different sports. And what are the chances And there's Kanako in there. Currently now 52 minutes through this game. Only 28. This second half has actually flown by. I think it's the tries. Anytime you end up with a try, does end up making it go extremely quickly. Feliti Kai 2 off the field now. Same with Santiago Medrano. And that will be Greg Holmes and also the replacement option, Andrew Reddy. Well, I've got a 5K multi on the Brumbies in my last league. Bloody hell, please hang on. Says Aiden there. 5K multi. Wait, so have you put 5K on it, or is it that you are going to make 5K, Aiden? And Finland versus Russia in the ice hockey final. The game has just started, says Sebastian. Has it? One moment. I'm going to see if I can see something. Well, we've got a scrum reset as well. That is. And New Zealand won a gold medal. And in the women's slope style. Oh, that's cool, man. And it says BAL. Oh, sorry, it says Katie. 2 BAL. Ice hockey Finland versus Russia. Or the ROC as they're called, because that's obviously not the same one. My phone went ding. Right. Scrum beat is about to take place between these two sides. I've put the hockey on my other screen. I'm going to watch some hockey alongside this. See what I can learn. I've been told to use it once again now, going out the back line. That's the tie. He's actually made a lot of running meters and also just carries throughout this one. And I won the gold medal in sarcasm as well. Canada not in the finals. He's kind of going, no, they weren't able to get their players out of the NFL. Sorry, not the NFL, the NHL. It's going to be the turnover by the Brumbies. If they lose, I've lost 5K. Why do you do this to yourself, Aiden? It's a brutal one. The old gambling, isn't it? Currently 27 minutes left. And long story, kind of NHL are a bunch of pricks and didn't let any NHL players to travel to the Olympics. And then ROC means Republic of Cheetahs, says VAO. And also, if the Brumbies lose, I've lost 5,000 out of my pocket. So why is your pocket being opened, Aiden? Because I thought you were just going to use your balance. These are the questions. These are the big questions. I've been to Dunedin now. I don't need to go to Scotland, says David the Mod there. Yeah. Although I'd love to go to Murrayfield. I feel like Murrayfield would be an awesome one to go to. If I did go to Scotland, it would have to be to watch some rugby. It'd be nicely taken there by Pete Samu once again. Rob Valentini, the bulldozer, trying to make his way forward, but currently now sitting 45 meters out. Nicely done. Once again, I'm back now. Going to be Scott Seo creating a bit more of an opportunity for his side to get a couple more phases and a couple more maybe gaps opening up. Lachlan Lonergan into the podium. And then, well, that is scandalous. And Seo's kind of gone in, yeah. So they finished about 5th, I believe it is. The Canadians will be raging for that one. But definitely because, like, they would be in the final. Like, they were favourites to be able to win it if they did have their players. I believe 40 metres out now. Rory Scott now also having another little bit of a dash. Counter ruck there from the Western Force, and they fight back and they get the ball now. Very nicely done. Or have they? The ball is now available. Nick White's not too happy with that one. Looking towards the touch shot, but he is not going to help him out there. And now the Western Force is going to be now. Finney's going through. It was forward. Kane Kadeka would have been gone there. Bro, stop gambling. You have an extra addition. Every comment I see from you is talking about gamble on your bet or your bet. And I was like, Canada wasn't even in the curling finals. Says BAL. Are they normally quite? That's backwards. Tell you what, that's a massive call because that ball could have been backwards. And then if it was forward, you just go back to it at the time, but they'll feel hard done by there for the Western Force. And I hope you lose, as you can get the point that you're wasting money. And also we've got their no team GB. And then from David the Mob, but Lachlan Lonergan, he is out on the field now. Ryan Lonergan also going to be creeping his way out there. Creeping's not the best word, making his way out there, I should say. And I bet around Aiden has a gambling problem, and that's deep. And then from kind of going in there. Big push from the Brumbies. The referee was just about to blow his whistle, but they've been told to play it anyway. Tom Banks now going for the corner. Couldn't quite link up with Tom Wright. The two Toms doing plenty. And also, anyone's game at this point exactly right. The Brumbies look like they've got an extra little bit of a spring in their step. They've had more possession in the last 5 minutes. Now the advantage once again in favour of the Brumbies. Ryan Lonergan Passes it back across Noah Lolesio now. Is this Lena Katau? Yes, it is. First run we've seen. Beautiful offload to Andy Muirhead. He's gone down. And that is going to be going back for the penalty. The first 5 of the Canadian squad they've ruined. They would have ruined their opponents. And they are the top 5 ranked hockey players in the world. And also the reserves are in the top 10 as well. Says Sebastian. So, yeah, they are missing out on some big talent there. Hamish, how many times All Blacks have won the World Cup and how many gold medals for New Zealand rugby? I believe we haven't. Have we had a gold medal in rugby for the Olympics-wise? I don't think we have, that I know of. But then also, New Zealand have won the World Cup 3 times, which were won a lot longer ago than the last couple. At the moment, I am intrigued by this ice hockey. ROC winning that 1-0 up against Finland. And don't forget, GB won the ice hockey gold in 1936. Woo! As I know, I thought New Zealand had a kick-ass curling team. Apparently not. Says David, maybe one day, me and George. How many people do you need for curling? 3. Me, George, Isaac, and Daniel. We'll get all 4 of the boys and we'll start the New Zealand curling team off right. Get ourselves a gold. I feel like that would be a lot of effort, but it would be kind of fun. Along the way now, rolling their way forward. Lachlan Lonergan goes down. Scores the try, and the Brumbies get another one. Didn't our women win gold at the last Olympics? Oh, sorry, yes, the women's side have been able to get themselves a gold medal, but not the men's. And the Women's World Cup, I think they actually won the World Cup as well, didn't they? For the women's. Doing very nicely for themselves, but now Lonergan. That wasn't Lonergan, that was Scott, who did score that one. Didn't even need Lonergan at the back. He was trying to get involved in it, but it just kept on going and going and going. And Rory Scott ends up picking up the try. And now that is another good one for the Brumbies to have there. We'll go like this. And we will go like that. And also Jared Bodo Eshe. And there it says Lax Axel. Hello, how are you? I feel like that's probably the best translation of that. And also we have there will be an uproar over this so much like the French twat clubs that refuse to release their players for international fixtures and World Cup matches. And there as well, yeah, the top 14, it's going pretty much all year, every year, isn't it? But then also we've got there Fiji won men's gold in Rio. So he's kind of going in, and they also ended up winning it in Tokyo as well, back-to-back gold medals for the men's 7 side. And also, yeah, it's outrageous. Let the players represent their nations, but they're too afraid to play without their stars. Boo-hoo. Says Sebastian, yeah, that's the thing. It's like 3 weeks that you're missing them. 3 out of a how many week season? Like, it's not going to be a huge difference. Yes, I know there's a lot of money in it. Well, this guy has not hit that one well. And now because of about 21 minutes left, and it is going to be 22-16 now. And New Zealand in any more Olympics events. Oh, I think have we got more? I don't know how far we are through. One moment, Sky Go will tell me. Sky Go is a good site. At the moment, we're in the snowboarding. Oh, no, that's highlights. Do we have any figure skating left? I don't know whether or not we're any good at figure skating. I'm quite good at figure skating. I have figured how to fall over figure skating. That is now 22 metres out here for the Brumbies. Ollie Kalin on the field for Kane Kateka. And we are going to be ready to go. I have a question. In international hockey, are you allowed to do punch-ups like you are in like the NHL? Or are you not allowed to punch up? And that's where rugby needs to fix. And that's where rugby needs to fix and let players play for their country. And there it's going to be bouncing there. You don't normally want to let a ball bounce. Pete Samu kicking that one almost straight into Dutch on the full, but it does roll out. And also my friend in Florida, who's a huge hockey fan, is raging that overpaid NHL stars weren't at the Olympics, who, as I said, BAO. And also we have got the gold, the silver, and the bronze from KT. And I do love the fact that some of you guys have got that gold Kiwi Lads emoji badge. Not too sure what happened there. Oh, they wanted to make a sub. And my friend, oh no, I read that one. Okay, Jesse Mogg making his way out there. Is that going to be for Lena Cattell? I hope it's not, but it will be probably. And the recent new international eligible rule isn't enough there. These areas they've gone to the back that time, nicely taken by the Western Force. And geez, is that in rupees? Says David the Mod to 8 in there. Rob Valentini off the field, and also it's actually Andy Muirhead that they've taken off the field for Jesse Mogg. Like they mentioned last time we've seen that man in Super Rugby was 2015, and Hamish George should represent New Zealand and reenact Blades of Glory. So, the thing is, it would be quite fun, like ice skating, if I was actually decent at ice skating. But yeah, that's a fun movie, isn't it? Will Ferrell. I actually watched Anchorman 2 the other week, which is actually, it's a decent movie compared to Anchorman 1, to find it a lot better. But now it's going to be fire back once again, kicked high from Pasitoa. Waiting for it to come down, taken nicely now. And Tom Banks trying to attack. A little bit more of a run. It looks like he's going to have his legs taken out from underneath him, brother. By the way, your brother James scored for Leinster's, for his Leinster team. Good on him, James, though, my brother. Doing very nicely currently. Oh, he has to, because Mackenzie Hansen trying to steal his spot. You can have a genuine fight on the ice, but it will cost you 5 minutes in the box. The fight is interrupted by the rest when the player drops on his knees, says Sebastian. Okay, so it is the same as kind of the NHL and everything, same with international. Nicely taken there by it was Strawn once again. Rushing up there, Darcy Swain almost getting himself in an offside position. Kyle Goldwyn looking for touch. Yeah, it's gone out on the full, and they're going right back to where it was kicked from. If Pacific players are going to sign contracts in Europe, they should be forced to sign national contracts. It shouldn't. It should be optional, or they shouldn't be forced to sign national contracts. It should be optional. Says Darius Spencer, and Will Ferrell is an immortal in comedy. And now I'm so behind on the rugby, says Katie Dixon with the sad faces. Currently, yeah, that's the thing. Next week there's even more, because we had the Six Nations missing out this weekend. It's coming back next weekend. Then we got the URC back as well, the top 14, the Gallagher Premiership, the top league, the MLR, Super Rugby. I don't even know if I said that. And also we've got the Elf. Except Elf, that's a terrible movie. All brutal. Brutal. I know a few people who really like Elf. Overall, currently 62 in. And also, yeah, from being behind. But there's too much rugby. I think you'd actually have to watch rugby for 12 hours a day, every day, and you still probably not quite get through it. I have never seen Elf. And this is Katie Dixon. You have to check it out. It is on Netflix over here. I'm not sure whether or not it is on Netflix over there, though. And also what will happen with the Moana Blues, or the Blues versus Moana Pacifica point system for round one. At this point in time, I haven't heard if they are going to be splitting the points. I don't believe they will be, though. I think that game will probably be taking place before the other Trans-Tasman games would be the two that we do see. Maybe they have like that game midweek before heading overseas. I think in any sport, if you go to another country to play just for the money, is your forfeit your right to play for your country at international events. There's BAL there. And also, I've seen Dirty Santa. That's the one with that fellow in it, isn't it? What's his name? I can see him, but I don't know his name. Or is it bad? And there says Lex Axel. What's his name? He's got the third. Has he got the third in his name? No. Who's the main guy in Bad Santa? So it's going to be dropped now by Finnis because of it. Now good pressure from Ryan Lonergan, and they now get the scrum beat. And also, how can you like an expert character who behaves like such an a-hole all throughout the movie as well? And this is kind of going on. Billy Bob Thornton, that is the one. I know it was 3 parts. I thought it was either the third or he had 3 names. But Billy Bob Thornton is there. And also Anchorman, you stay sassy, San Diego. This is David the Mod. Yeah, me and George ended up watching it a little while ago. And do you think Force will lead again? I think the momentum's starting to change. 9 handling errors here for the Brumbies so far, and for the Western Force. And also we've got there, yeah, that's the one. And there says Lex Axel, but currently now Ryan Lonergan is the name. And also Santa is an anagram of Satan. And both wear red suits and have pointy-eared minions. There you go. You'll never look at Christmas the same way again. But then is that the same how like dog is God backwards? So is a dog God? No, I'm not going to get into it. But now down the wing, Tom Wright. Now driving forward, still only 5 meters out now for him. Ryan Lonergan got the ball at the back, firing it out the back line now. Nolan Alessio, please give it out to Lena Cattell. Where is he? No, it's going to be now. Frost tries to back himself. Shouldn't have, though. Should have passed it. Lena Cattell flicks it back beautifully. The ball's being thrown at the line. And it bobbled. Well, I think I really want Force to win or just draw. Otherwise, going to have a good season this year. Will Ferrell is indeed a legend and a master, but I'll never be Bill Murray. And there's who's Bill Murray? I feel like I probably do know Bill Murray, don't I? I'll look up Bill Murray. No, not Jerry. Bill Murray. Murray? No, Murray. Who is that man? Is he off whose line is it anyway? No, maybe not. Who is Bill Murray? What's he been in? Currently 4 penalties conceded at the moment. And I was a Caddyshack. Yes. And that's dyslexia, buddy, in there. As well says David the Bond, and also a dog botherer. Botherer is a whole different offence. And they're at 60% of time, works every time, says David the Bond there. And also Andy Murray and Groundhog Day, aka Ghostbusters. And then was one of the original Ghostbusters. Was Ghostbusters a comedy? I feel like you guys are very disappointed in me as well. And 60% every time. I feel like there's a lot of great quotes from Anchorman. Half of them we probably can't say. And also from all the matches and run around, or which one is a class game performance and why, says Ed Bogle. I would say the game that I've enjoyed the most out of round one, Hurricanes versus Crusaders. Had a lot of tries, also had that back and forth that I think we were really after for Super Rugby. And I was like, yeah, and we are disappointed in there. And I was Australia Centre, and 9 options are kind of cooked as well. Finney's and Kalani would be Wales prospects already, and Simone is really unlucky to be 5th/6th. Joyce Wallaby Centre, and last Ghostbusters was a farce. And there says BAO, and Bill Murray is a national hero. Says Lex Axel, and I love Bill Murray. I love the air that fills my lungs. Very useful. Yeah, Hamish Brumbies is 5 teams. So far, I have seen this tournament. Brumbies definitely are through next round here, says Michelle. Yeah, currently they should be in the top 8. We would think Bill Murray vanquished Ghostmate, Medal of Honor, says Lex Axel. Now it's going to be Jake McIntyre and Pasatoa making his way off the field. They say he's getting better, or he's going to get better and better. I thought he had a pretty solid game overall. He didn't do too badly at all. They were holding on to the ball quite nicely. And it's really less than 101. And player of the round, any team, says Ed Vogel. Okay, player of the round. I mean, I could go Whainā Nuku since he got a hat trick. But a couple of those ones were relatively easy, but still hard to put the ball down. So I'll go him. Or there was a number 4. Who was it? Who am I thinking of? Lachlan McMahon went all right for the Chiefs, but I'll go Leicester Whainā Nuku because it's the easy option. Out of the 4 packs, though, there's quite a few good players who have done well. The other one, Bill Murray is in Zombieland too. It's all there. And also been to Lapland and Finland. I had a shot of Laka after ice diving, and couldn't feel anything. I felt like I had a massive nap in a cozy bed, says Sebastian, and also Zombieland, a classic. I haven't seen it yet, but that's another one that's going to be on the list because I feel like if I don't see these movies, you guys are going to disown me, and I don't want to be disowned. Overall. And also, well, of course, I just had referring to these, we use Robin Williams as well as basically an uncle to every American kid. And therefore, you thought Bill Murray has got Russell Williams was better. Oh, okay, it's getting heated now. Miro Altonoinen has gone off the field there for Finland at the moment, and this is doubt by a gender reveal. Here's Lex Axel currently, Lonergan feeding in this ball for the Brumbies. They are only sitting a few metres out from the line, picked up nicely by Pete Samu, breaking away 2 metres short now. Ryan Lonergan once again goes back across, and it's still just a tad short at the moment around the side. Alan Alalatoa once again getting the carry here. Ryan Lonergan back to Noel Olesio, puts the ball down, and it is going to be the scrum. And did you know somebody worked out that in Groundhog Day, Bill Murray spent over 3,000 days or 3,000 years stuck in the same day? That's a lot of days. And as I need to say, I don't want to be the same card to my parents on Christmas, says Sebastian. Sure, it'll go all right. That one almost smacked him in the face there, Noel Olesio. She is not happy with him dropping that ball. This is a very comfy chair, but yeah. Getting the zone, probably not ideal. That's why I always end up, you got to get your mum on the live stream every once in a while. She'll be happy enough to get in a little bit of time. Like, that's the thing. We probably spend more time on live stream than we do outside of the live stream over the weekends, which is why it's good to do the live streams. Whether as my sister and I left flowers outside his San Francisco home on a trip once, says Katie Dixon. And I also, did you know, oh no, that's the right one. And, nothing's getting heated in there, says kind of coming in. See, I feel like that's just like, for me, like anyone like disagreeing, like because of how like stock standard of a, like I don't end up like getting annoyed at pretty much anything. Like, so I'm pretty much like, for me, anything that's like, oh, like such and such is a bad play, I'm like, oh, it's getting heated. That man almost had the ball on him. It was almost heated there on the sideline. It actually did almost happen. He almost got hit with the ball right after he died. Says Harry Dixon, also cool runnings, everything. Everyone has seen that movie. We actually watched it for school, for PE. I think it was to teach us teamwork and whatnot. Yeah, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Or the rhyme, I should say. Get on up. It's bobsled time at the moment. It's rolling maul time. Darcy Swain just aggressively trying to pile his way straight through the middle, trying to take the shirt off the back of the Western Force player. As his hand slapped away, though. Now, Fidesz puts it up. And also at school specifically as well, and Sanka. And then, well, he just came here. Well, he came here in the 90s, and he just unleashed, and he was hilarious. And then also he was a huge loss to the film and television and to comedy and to everyone who knew him as a person and actor, legend, and your buddy. And there says like Axel or Sanka. Sorry, I realize that's not Santa. It's Sanka from Cool Running. Sorry. I think because we talked about Santa earlier, the convenience of saying Santa was just there. That's going to be another knock on. So starting to creep in a few more handling errors in the second half of the match. A little bit further up the field now for him. And also so many kids grew up with him on TV. And it was like a family member had passed on. And you did, man. And there it says like Axel. Of course, that is when the Cool Runnings, they end up flipping the bobsled, wasn't it? And also we have got the PE teacher send us lads to the bookies during class. He said that counts as sporting activity. What a bloke, eh? I feel like, I mean, it would have taught you plenty about like sports and whatnot. I'm currently scratching my back and my arm's not quite long enough or flexible enough to reach the spot. So I'm going to have to just admit defeat. And also, if only we could have helped him know how loved he was. And it's Katie Dixon, that Brumbie there. He's having a bit of a chat with a few people in the crowd. By the looks of it, he's a large individual, the old Brumbie, but Darcy Swain getting some thigh strapping on, and not surprised at the lead up from the Brumbies as well. And I just tuned in late after a nap. Says Sammy Sosa there. And currently, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they can hang on, because they've been dropping the ball quite often in the last little while. And also, did you know that same year as Jamaica bobsled team past Trinidad and Tobago also competed and managed not to crash? Says BAL there. There you go. That's another, tell you what, kind of coincident. No, that was BAL, in fact. You guys know all of your facts to do with history. And also, best acting moment from him, Good Morning Vietnam. And then Seth kind of and Robin Williams was a legend, says Sebastian there. And David Mott had said about Robin Williams, I was seen standing in line to donate blood. And there as well. Like, I mean, it's one of those ones, like, you get to see them on the screen, but it's also like the person off the screen that people don't really like get to know, I guess, as much as they would like to. And I was watching a Falcons game for not too long ago, and during halftime, a group of 4 guys was dressed up as the Jamaican bobsled team. They had a fake sled costume and everything. And I know that Blood says Amy Spencer, and also we have got the only Robin Williams movie I ever liked was Bicentennial Man. Hopefully I said that correctly. Hopefully. It's not stable, says the referee. Just like my relationship. I don't have a relationship, so that's how unstable it is. Free cooking a milkshake. And there, says Amy Spencer. We're currently now 10 minutes left in this game. Brumbies 22, Force sitting on 16. They've currently got the bonus point for being within the 6 points, or the 7 points, in fact, would be what they need to be within there. Richard Coe, he's been relatively quiet. He had a very good early patch. We did help set up the try, but other than that, we haven't really seen him too often. On the halfway line now. It's a penalty to the Western Force. They are still in this game at this current point in time. Tom Robinson just wiping away the blood from his ear once again. And now it will be Jake McIntyre kicking this one for the touchline. I love him. It's John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt into Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Numa. Or Numa, hopefully I've said that correctly. Forced by 5, and I'm sticking by it. And that was a massively underrated movie. I could not believe how badly received it was for that one for Bicentennial Man. And also, yeah, that was a beautiful movie. And also, I'm Spencer, do you mind sending me some blood? I feel peckish. He's Sebastian. Currently now 25. They've only won their game once in the first match of a Super Rugby competition. And did you watch Super Bowl Hamburger? I did not get to see all of it. Me and George watched the first about 10 minutes, and then we ended up playing Xbox for the rest of the time, just because it seemed like a good idea. We filmed some videos, though, so, you know, it was work, I guess you could say. And also, we've got the 9 minutes remaining. The end of the match, Brumbies definitely hold this lead. Says Michelle, although one converted try would put them up to 23 points, the Western Force. Don't know what to line up in Asamata Elliott goes into Dutch, though. And also, it seems Amish's voice is still a little rough from the commentary. Says Sammy says it is. It's slowly starting to come back, but as soon as I stop talking, it will be gone. Like, I probably won't be able to talk for the next 2 days or so without, like, sounding very croaky. But it's the price you pay. The vocal cords, they do somehow rebuild themselves. I don't know how it works. And I Stephen, when I watched it, I was crying for hours after it. Says, can I coin in there? Now Harry Lloyd, it's gone over the top. Good take from Richard Carr, who he just manages to hang on. No, he doesn't. It's a knock on. I don't know whether or not that actually left his hands. I think Richard Carr is a little bit confused by it as well. Just feeling a bit angry about that one, Richard Carr. And after the live, says Brandon there. And there had also been a lot of sports recently. You got high work ethic, Hamish, says Lax. Yeah, we've got plenty of sports on at the moment. Like, the amount that's going on now in the rugby world, let alone having cricket, having football, having rugby league, everything coming back as well. It's just, there's so much stuff. But we are going to be covering as much of it as we can. Tom Robinson's ear looks very mashed up at the moment, unfortunately, for him. Richard Carr is too old, says David the Mod there. And Robin Williams says a much better normal actor than he was a comedy actor, says BAL. I remember him, and I think the only one that I've watched, like, not recently, but the one that I can remember with him in it was Night at the Museum with Ben Stiller. As I watched Super Bowl ads, and one of was the new Tolkien series that's starting up, says David the Mod. And also I had work, so I couldn't watch it. And who is winning at the moment? It is the Brumbies. They've got themselves just a little bit of a lead, 22 points to 16, but still 6 minutes left. Well, dreams may come. Now that movie sent me, and apparently that new Lord of the Rings series has been totally lambasted. Now, BAL, what would you say is a simpler way of saying lambasted? Is that like as being totally cancelled, totally not good, like it's being ridiculed? I'm not too sure. What does it mean, Mari mean? And there, and also we have the case, this is the way you're showing the glass of wine. If I am not wrong, says Michelle. So probably a celebratory wine, perhaps, and it means cap or it means bad. And this is BAL. Okay, thank you. Had to simplify it for me, but that makes sense. I was still getting a little bit of Hamish, especially on days with no sports to commentate on just for that much. I need a break and rest, says Sam Souza. And yes, any break that we do get, we'll be taking it. It wasn't quite working out there for it was Isaac Finney's there. Little knock on though, and the Western Force once again. An afternoon, Hamish. How are you, mate? Doing very well, thanks, mate. Other than the voice is starting to disappear. Or it did disappear last night, but we're still going. This is our last live streams of the weekend, in fact. Then after that, I'll probably have to get some throat lozenges, some honey, some lemon, all sorts to try and make sure that the voice comes back in the next weekend for our, well, pretty much we're doing it all again. Can you watch the video with 14,000 views or 1,400 views in a few minutes? I get 5 subscribers. I don't know. I would just say it more, Brandon, says Brandon there. So I will check it out after if I do get the chance of Robin Williams. On whose line is it anyway? Improv Goat. And there says Lex Axel, and also, hey, brother, well, here's the truth. I'm a vampire, and so is Sebastian. We only pretend to be humans as to blend in with society. It's the secret handshake for blood, says Gary Dixon. And he also voiced the legendary genie from Aladdin. It was amazing so much that for some reason he didn't do the sequel. And they tried to get Homer Simpson's VA or voice actor to do it and failed badly. And Brumbies are my last leg on my multi, says Russell. A lot of people did have them as their last leg. I believe Aiden also had them. So how many legs was your multi, Russell? Do let me know. And there we go. And also I could use a bazooka as a prop and bring the house down. And there's SBL. And also we have got their Brumbies, my last leg. Oh no, I read that one. And also Richard Simmons on whose line is it anyway? And of Vampire. And they are Vampire. Oh, ha, ha. That's how they always say that they go in top 3 best episodes. And there's Katie Dixon. Now, Alan Alalatai, he's had to work extremely hard out there on the Val Chuck says Lexix, although I didn't have too much left, which is probably a good thing, or else I probably would have drunk all of it in a row. Currently now, Fines puts the ball in once again now. Less than 5 minutes left in this fixture between the two sides. Still all to play for. Going to be a great ball off to Kyle Goldwyn with the fin dragged down by Ryan Lonergan. As long as they don't end up dropping this ball, this is a good attacking maneuver. Jake offloading it. I believe it was Jake McIntyre, in fact, Manasa Mataeli now trying to drive his way forward. Just 10 legs. 10 legs is very impressive. Is it all rugby or is it other sports? As Al Russell, do let me know. And what is the return on one that is 10 legs? I feel like that would be a relatively big size one. If I'm not wrong, now going through. Close to breaking through the line. The Western Force have still got themselves the advantage as well. Now offloading back, flat ball into the hands of Ed Kennedy. Now getting closer. Oh, in fact, it would have been Ollie Kalin. I'm back across. Fergus Lee Warner offloads. It's the try for the Western Force in the 76th minute, and it will be straight out in front with an easy kick as well. This game is 21 points to 22. And just get some Jackman's menthol sweets. ZBL, and also get some remedies on that throw, mate. Another busy one next weekend. And please let me know. Also, I am grow fast more Brandon as the shorts. Do people like shorts? People do enjoy shorts, just because they are short. As I know, his attack now says it was the Western Force, and Jake McIntyre in the right place at the right time gets the pot pass up to him, and now the Western Force. I have to add this one, Western Force. No, that's not what I'm putting in. I'm putting in who scored the try, which is McIntyre. He's been able to get it for himself. McIntyre. There we go. Now the Western Force at 76 minutes, 77 in fact. They have now got themselves a lead, and now Jake McIntyre with this kick and OMG. And oh goodness, and unlucky Adam says, oh wow, what a game. And they're up the Force. Although the game is not over yet, they discovered the Force within. Says Sammy Souza liking it a lot, and currently that conversion's gone over. So the score is going to be 23 points to the Western Force, 22 to the Brumbies. And also Aiden about to lose 5,000. Hopefully he wakes up to himself. And our Brumbies need to be lots of points right now, says Katie Dixon. As I said, New Zealand side's gone basically sweep. Or going to basically sweep AU sides again. Damn, I don't know. It depends on where the games are played. I feel like there could be a couple close ones. And there, hopefully we do get to see them competing. That ball's gone up to Manasa Mataeli now. He's trying to break his way through, but currently only the 1 point difference between them and the mod. Do you see what I want to see? A shorts about Sam. And then also, I know Brumbies behind the 1 point, says Vishal. Currently 2 minutes left, going to be fired back. Kick downfield by Kyle Goldwyn on the left boot. Big kick downfield, but now it's going to be the counter attack for the Brumbies. Can they get this one right at the death? Not Alessio trying to go straight through, but he is dragged down nicely. Western Force, you're not allowed to go for that ball. He almost gave away the penalty for his player not releasing. Now it's going to be the youngster Ollie Sapsford. Did very nicely for the Hawke's Bay side throughout the Bunnings NBC. Darcy Swain now dropping. Going to be tackled. A penalty here could change the game. Come on, Brumbies. Says Kanako in. Noel Alessio goes back now. Scott Seo on the outside. Tom Banks. One more drone pass. Tom right down the wing. Could this be the try? Ball on the inside. And Lachlan Lonergan scores the try for the Brumbies. And they are going to be back in the league now. And Lachlan Lonergan scores it. And that is how quickly the Brumbies can just turn it on for themselves. Will go like this. And it was Lachlan Lonergan who has been able to score it for 1 second. They were in the lead, and now in the 78th minute, we got the Lachlan Lonergan try that completely switches this game on its head once again. Yes, Brumbies and OMG, oh my God, yes. And Western Force got Argentine players still. Only the one, I believe, Santiago Medrano is the only man that they have still got. And also, I'm got to go. Awesome weekend, brother. And take care and see you all next week. So thank you very much for tuning in, David, once again, and we will see you for the next one. And also, incredible 10 out of 10 try. They won by the ball on the inside from Tom Wright. Lachlan Lonergan is in the right place, right time. And yes, and there says a man. Also, come on, Brumbies. And that one is Western Force. As RG's then come on, Brumbies is BAL. And also, I take care, David says Sebastian. And there. Yeah, only Santiago Madrano, and he's no longer on the field. So I guess, maybe. And Awalu. And there says Amir. And also, see your mate says BAL. But now, Noah Lolicio lining up this kick. And Brumbies love you, says Amir there currently. The clock is going to be ticking down. He's waiting for the siren. Lining up this one. Does get it over right when the siren sounds. That will be the end of the game. Or will it? I think there's still time for one more play. Time for the restart. And people say Australian rugby is bad. So David says that, and also easily the best Aussie game this round. Says Mark Morris. Yeah, we love a close game. And that is exactly what we've had, and it's not over yet. We've still got one more moment. And thanks for all you do for us, brother. Have a good one. Says Katie to David. And I've been kicked off. Now it was taken by Nick Frost, trying to bounce straight in there for the Western Force. They're being told to leave it. And now Lachlan Lonergan fires it back into the pocket. The Brumbies win the game, 29 points to 23. What a game of rugby between these two sides, and what a crazy ending to this game. Exactly right. The Western Force, they thought they may have had it scoring in the 77th, but then the Brumbies, they had a different plan, and they were able to get themselves the last-minute try of, was in the end, Lachlan Lonergan, who got that one back, but they do get themselves 4 tries in that one. Western Force did end up scoring twice, I believe, with Tony Pulu and also Jake McIntyre. And you put the good show, man. See you soon, Cesar Mia. So thank you very much for tuning in, mate. Next week, we have got Super Rugby once again. Every single game, $3 for 87 return over 10 leagues, Super Rugby, Super League, EPL, and NBL. Nicely done, Russell, there. But be sure to not spend it all at once. And 6 points ahead once again, Brumbies. Now, not any mistake this stage, please, Brumbies. Says the show, and they have been able to win that one now. And also, OMG, what a game, says Brandon. Yeah, brilliant one. Glad the Force get at least the bonus point. They played fantastically. Exactly right. They did need at least 1 point, so they will be finishing 6th on the table. And rugby sounds better. They're watching when Hamish just commentates. Says BAL. Appreciate you, mate. And Australia rugby doesn't have blowouts like the NRL. And also, Zup Process gets to the best welcome in, and the Brumbies pull it off at the death. It just showed a little bit of that experience that they did end up still having out there on the field. But this was the table going into this match. So the Brumbies, they will be sitting right here, and their points differential is going to be a total of +6. But then down here, in 6th place, it will be the Western Force, and they will get themselves the bonus point with the -6 as their points differential. That is going to be the end of this live stream. I do appreciate every single one of you for being here for the weekend. We have got plenty more next week. Like I mentioned, Super Rugby, the Six Nations, some URC as well. Force say, we felt the Force Brumbies. And then said, hold my highlights over. See, there's kind of going in there. And can you see too? Here's Brandon there. And go the Mighty Blues next week for the next one. And that is going to be up against the Hurricanes. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. Hope you did enjoy the Super Rugby coverage. If you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all later on in the week for the lineup videos that we will be doing. A couple maybe gaming ones along the way as well. And also, hopefully, my one is cleared to play next for their debut against the Chiefs. Exactly right. And half those names are made up. Says a BAL there. And a big love, everyone. See you next weekend for more rugby. And we come in, says Alex X. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And I will see you all